I walk for miles inside this pit of danger.
Is it that time? Are we there? Is it here? Oh, yeah. It is 2024. What's going on? It is your boys. We are on the Sandbox Podcast Network. This is the Pay Window Podcast.
That's us.
Shout out in 2024, the first one of the year, to the big boss man.
Shout out to the big bro.
Shout out
to Bubble Ray Trailer himself.
Word
the big bro.
to that. Shout out to him. It is me, the wrestling opiner. It is your boy Vernon Somoza saying, what's up? Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Festivus, and all the other things in between.
Kwanzaa, can't forget Kwanzaa.
Shout out to Kwanzaa. And to my left, it is my boy.
Wow.
The persuasive pontificator of phony pugilism.
You like that one, huh?
For ranked champion, what's up? What's happening, my boy?
So that little title took like 4 minutes for me to come up with.
Really? I like it, though.
Thank you. I was trying to come up with my good alliteration, and I was like, I need another word for fake, phony, and I was like, fighting, pugilism. That worked.
Well done. Good use of the English language, my friend.
Yeah, I try. That's no college education, too, just letting you know. Only college education I got was when I was in your dorm room when you was in college.
Word.
We're playing video games. It's the only college education I got.
Video games and wrestling.
So now, man, it's another 2 weeks. Here we are, Vern. Episode 49.
49.
98 weeks into pro wrestling.
Yes, sir.
I was having a conversation before we started. I was having a conversation with the big bro. And we were discussing, I can't even remember now, but about how long we've been doing this show for. And it was something that we discussed early on in the show that he had brought up. And I was like, bro, that was like one of the first episodes we covered. Big E. It was Big E's neck injury.
Yeah.
We were talking about Big E's neck injury, and I'm looking at it right now. This was episode 3. R.I.P. Wow. Scott Hall was when Big E got his neck dropped on his head by Rich Holland.
Yeah,
and to think, here we are. That was 6 weeks in. Here we are 92 weeks later. Big E's still not in a wrestling ring.
I have a strange suspicion. Call it a shot in the dark, but I think Big E might make a surprise in the Rumble.
I hope so.
I have a feeling Big E might just, I don't know why, but I just feel like.
I think it would be a good spot for him. If you're going to bring him back, you bring him back mildly. You don't risk his neck or anything like that.
Correct. But I feel like Big E could be a spot in the Rumble. Yeah, man.
I would love to see that.
That'd be exciting. It would be exciting to see the man back.
Absolutely. I brought that up because I'm like, man, we've been. Like it says only 49 episodes, but we do it bi-weekly. So it's like, dude,
wow.
We're almost at 100 weeks. So next episode, I don't know what your drink of choice is going to be, but I hope you're ready because that might be in the new Sailor Mouth episode. And once we get some alcohol, Sailor Mouth Part 2 or something, you know?
My Lord.
So
that'll be the rated R episode. My goodness.
Yes, seriously. So as you know, as we would discuss them a couple weeks ago, we will be switching up the format of the show soon. This is the twilight era of the, what would you call this era? The current event era.
The current event era, the era of us just bantering, right? Us just being able to feed off each other, volley back and forth, and kind of just going wherever the conversation takes us, right? So we've been
correct.
That's what we've been doing, right? We've just been back and forth, man, talking. Like we have literally spent the last 100 weeks talking to each other. Like I told you, the more I think about it, right? We've chronicled our friendship through wrestling. For the last 100 weeks, we've chronicled.
That's why I like doing this. It's cool.
Interesting how it's been, but as you said, we're going to change things up, and we want to go in a different direction. For no other reason than to challenge ourselves, and as always to keep sharpening that sword and getting better at what we do.
Have to, because think about it, it's professional wrestling. It's cycles. Things happen and they happen over again. So what are we going to critique? The same idea reimagined over and over again? We're going to have the same opinion on it eventually. So I feel like,
and we're at a place where it's kind of feeling very WWE heavy.
It's getting very WWE.
Lopsided. Yes, very lopsided.
It was, I would say it was maybe 60-40 before. It's getting 80-20, 90-10 right now. I agree.
And for the sake of not becoming a show that's just solely, we're going to recap one company and discuss one ideal and one way of doing it all. And to stick to the heart of pro wrestling, right? To stick to the heart of pro wrestling and the fact that it's a rich history. And there's so much of it that we were lapsed for, so much of it that Prof, shout out to Prof. Prof has been teaching in small increments that
blowing your mind, right?
Oh, you know what? I pitched the other day randomly. I pitched him an idea about the NWO. And I was like, what do you think about that? And he shot back to me and goes, it would never work. And I gave him this long response of how you set it up, etc. And he was like, you know what? Let me show you some video. He was, I want you to watch some video. He goes, and I watched it. And he was like, and after watching the matches, I was like, oh God, these guys couldn't walk. They couldn't work. It was all punch kick matches. And I was like, you're right. It would have never worked. Regardless of how good the idea was in actual
execution.
Seeing the players on the table.
Yep. That matters.
Hogan,
that matter.
It could have never worked.
Because you can, it's almost like football, because you can have the greatest plays, Vern. You can have a play that for sure, if ran correctly, it's a touchdown every time. But if the guys don't go out there and execute it correctly, it's a 3-yard gain. It's a 2-yard gain. It's a fumble. It's an incomplete pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it all depends on the guys who are doing the performance. So that significantly matters. I did want to point out one thing though. I did mention some of the stuff that we're going to be doing with the new episodes before we jump into the next part, before we get really started. I just wanted to bring up some of the ideas, some more ideas that we have coming soon. I don't know if I brought it up with the last episode, but it was the Raw Underground. I want to document all the Raw Underground segments. That could be one episode in itself, Vern, because I think Raw Underground lasted like 6 weeks, and they were like small segments throughout Raw. So we can something like that. I know we could bang out in a very quick time. You know what I mean? Another one is the Perk Angle era. I'd have to get a specific timeline on the Perk Angle era.
And I got you. So I actually just got a 40 disc comp, everything Kurt Angle, his entire run of TNA. So if you let me know,
is it legit footage? Like not legit footage, like raw recorded from television footage?
It seems so. So I got
not
through
from like Impact Plus or TNA.
So Plus. I clipped through like the first 3 discs. So I couldn't. Yep. I don't want to say it's all raw footage, but from what I've seen so far, most of it seems to be raw footage. Yeah.
So I know at some point, Kurt suffers a neck injury. I don't think it's from the E. I think it's a second time in TNA, and then he gets prescribed painkillers, and then that's where the Perk Angle starts to come from. So I have to find the exact timeline, and then we can hone in on those DVD or files.
And when you want it, I got the footage for you. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That's perfect. Another one I got. This was Shay's idea. Undertaker's hardcore title run.
Okay,
that's something I've never seen.
Never seen before. Okay,
so I'm like, I'm willing to do that. Us covering the invasion angle, I think would be good, because I think seeing that episodically, as opposed to watching it week by week, where we have 6 days to be like, okay, let's breathe and then watch something new. I think we sat there and we said, okay, I'll tell you, hey, watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. And you start to break down what they did. I think we'd pick the invasion angle apart. I think we'd pick it apart piece by piece.
Yeah.
Because some of that stuff was rough. Even the paper, I think we go all the way right up into the pay-per-view. We go to when the story started, right up into the pay-per-view. It'll obviously be several parts. You know what I mean? That's the thing that will be a change in our show. Right now, you get one episode. It's one episode. It's one full topic.
One self-contained conversation. Yeah,
correct.
Of many conversations. Sure.
I think with this, it'll be like, all right, we got a part 1, we got a part 2, and one topic, just like the Labs fan. One topic might take us several months. It might happen that way. Yeah. So I'm totally down for that. Again, of course, what you brought up earlier was the Hogan 02 run. And I also wanted to do the NWO Poison angle, probably up until they had wrestled those matches at WrestleMania, where Stone Cold worked Scott Hall and Hogan. Hogan worked.
That's only like a month's worth of TV, right?
Yes, that's fine. Yeah. That's exactly
okay. That's just letting you know. Like I thought that was longer as well. And I looked in and I was like, oh, it's only like a month's worth.
But here's the beautiful thing about the way we're gonna do our show. It's not gonna just be what happened in ring and on TV. I'm going to try and dig and find things, find the background, why even they had the opportunity to come back, because we know they got bought out, stuff like that. I want to dive into it that way. So that's going to keep it, fresh and new. So
absolutely.
I can't wait to start doing that. That's literally in probably about a month from now. So.
Yeah, and then also I wanted to try the that other show I pitched you, the What's Your Perfect Match.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
The What's Your Perfect Match, and it was one that I threw into the chat about.
Yeah, I didn't answer because I didn't know. I couldn't think of one.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of.
And so the criteria being right, like for you personally, and that's what I was saying. Like I wasn't asking, give me a 5-star match, but give me, in your opinion, if I took a person who was wrestling illiterate and I said, watch this one match,
and this is professional wrestling.
This is professional wrestling to me. It captures what it is that I think is perfect about wrestling.
Oh,
and
Izzy ripping cheeks over here. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and it was interesting because we all had different takes, and so I think it'd be a fun conversation to see why everybody, like, what everybody's mind is and what they say would be like, why is this the perfect match?
I'm sorry, it's coming through the hoodie. Oh my!
I bet there's nothing like a fresh dog fart.
But the problem is,
wake you up.
His cheeks are at me.
Sure.
Like his head is towards the wall, but his cheeks are right by this chair. Speaking of chair, before we go on, you see it? I showed it to you earlier.
The new chair. I hear you.
New chair, 2 arms.
There we go. Not good. Wobbly. Not gonna break it off mid-show.
And guess what? This is an office chair, Vern. This isn't a gaming chair, which is a racing seat on wheels. This is a gaming chair. I mean, an office chair.
Yeah.
For big boys like your boy here. Hey, 500-pound weight capacity. I'm not that big, thank God. But 500-pound weight capacity. Hey. 2 arms that don't move, that don't have a pivot, so I'm not gonna, fall off the side like that one episode.
Wonderful.
So I'm not complaining.
Congratulations. Glad to hear you got it. Hey, man, W right there.
Yeah, the wife helped me out. All right. Before we move on to the wrestling, all right, we had a list, Vern.
Oh, our predictions.
We had a bunch of predictions. I always keep notes, right, of our predictions. If we say something wild, we go, all right, this is it. Mm-hmm. One of the ones we thought recently was Mandy Rose is coming back after she didn't have her fan site anymore, but she just switched to the WWE of
fan
Korn.
Sites.
Yeah, of Korn, and went to OnlyFans. So, but we broke the news clearly because we had no idea. But anyway, so we have some on this list that we got to clear up. It's 2024. We got a new slate. We gotta clear this up. So my first one that I saw here, I said Jack Perry, who's been suspended since All In, Cry Me a River, Real Glass, Cry Me a River, has been suspended. I said, he'll be back by Christmas. It is now January 3rd. And Jack Perry is still not on television, so we're gonna take that one out. Anything you want to say before we move on from that?
I wouldn't know. I've not watched it, so I wouldn't even know.
If he is back, I might have made a mistake because I wouldn't know either. But as far as I know,
I've not read anything about it. So
I figured it'd be a big deal. Somebody would make a big deal out of it. Some site. You said, Vern, that Bianca would be joining Lashley and the Profits.
Yep, I had this whole stable in my head.
Yeah,
nope.
Bianca is still the white meat babyface on Raw, and I don't think that's changing anytime soon because that's a merch pusher.
Yeah. And I feel like they've cooled off on Lashley. I think Lashley's on the downturn of his career.
I think something must have happened where they're getting started and stopped for some reason.
Yeah,
I think they had a vision.
That whole story with the Profits, where are they going with that?
Fastlane was like their really shining moment against Carlito and them. Yeah. And then I feel like since then, that was like October. They didn't do anything for Saudi, right? No December pay-per-view. So Survivor Series.
And on TV, they've been fairly cool off on TV. They've not been much on Raw. They've not been much interacting on Raw.
Hopefully that means they're ramping up something for 24. I don't know. I hope so. Because that's a stable I want to see do good things. They don't even have a name yet. That's the part that scares me. There's no name to them.
Well, they're still, because aren't they still running back the whole idea that Lashley's like, take the suits away and like, right? Like they're still doing that with them, which I was like, you've already done this already. Why are we doing this again?
Yeah, I don't know. It all, like I said, I think it starts and stops. Maybe there's a writer change or something. Who knows? Mm-hmm. So I had one. It said, if Ric Flair wrestles in AEW, I will purchase a Ric Flair shirt and a case of Woo Energy drink.
Have still never seen one in real life.
A Woo Energy drink?
Yeah, I've yet to see one IRL.
I think you have to just buy it online, right?
So no retailers carry it?
It would tell you at the store. I mean, at the website. They're just saying free express shipping, where to buy. That's where you would normally see something, where to buy. I go to shop. They want to sell me a 6-pack for $20. It was $30 last time. It's $20 now. Damn, that AEW, whoa. I can get a variety 6-pack for $19.99. I bet it tastes awful. I will live taste it. I probably will buy this anyway and just live taste it, and it's probably going to be awful. Man. Oh my God, it'll probably be like my dog's farts right now. I can taste it.
Focus, stress. Let's see, lemon, strawberry, banana, dragon fruit. None of those flavors sound good.
Yeah, you know the strawberry one tastes like watermelon soda. You ever had watermelon soda?
Oh,
awful. Awful. I bet that's what it tastes like. So I will keep that on there because he's still technically with AEW. He's still All Elite, but I don't think he's going to be on TV ever since he said what you told me about. Oldest ride, longest line, if you want to just
correct
that way.
Correct. Yeah. The people were not excited about that line.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to leave it up there for now. One's a reminder for us for next episode. And what about that last part, the car crash match of the week? Do you still want to do that, or do you want to save that for when we do our new format? Maybe you can start off the show with like a car crash match of the week before we dive into the one topic.
Sure, maybe maybe it'll give us something to talk about in terms of like recent. It'll give us our moment of like our moment of like
this is what I saw on television this week.
Sure,
yeah, I don't mind that, and we can talk about it maybe for like a couple minutes and then dive into the episode.
All right.
So I'll keep that there. All right, so all those notes are there. We're clear. It's 2024. Vern, are you ready?
Let's do it, man.
Let's start off
new season.
Start new season. Friend of the show. Good old Patrick. Friend of the show. Every time Patrick does something, we bring him up. Every time. Yep. We love Velveteen Dream. Let's be honest. When Velveteen Dream was on NXT, he could do no wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did wrong. and now here he is. So we've covered Velveteen in many different ways, Vern. I'm gonna start it off that way.
Yeah, we've covered him we've covered him very much in long form.
Right. I don't know if anybody's covered Velveteen as much as we have. Remember, he got arrested in August. We
watched his entire arrest video.
We can say his name now because I'm not afraid of him popping up anywhere. That was episode 22, Ryback Rules.
Oh,
I'm not afraid of saying his name no more. Screw that guy.
Yeah, we're
after that CM Punk nonsense, we didn't even cover it. But after that CM Punk nonsense, I'm almost set. We can call him Ryback. I'm not afraid of you no more, bro. I'm not afraid of you no more now. That went away. And then remember this feud from Everybody Hates Punk, EC3 versus Velveteen.
Oh yeah,
the bathroom incident.
Oh Lord, I forgot about that whole Psycho video,
sir. That was episode 15.
What a weird experience to look back on the pandemic era. People had way too much time on their hands with cameras in front of them.
Yes.
Everybody named Mama was like making up every story and telling every story they could think of.
Anything they could think of just to get a hot take, to have a viral video.
Viral moment, Lord.
Yep. And then the first time we covered him was on episode 14. It just said Velveteen Dream legal troubles. I think that was before we saw the August arrest, where he was like, "In me, my Miranda rights," because that's when he bit the dude in the chest at the gym.
Oh yes.
And he was like, "I was enjoying myself in the sauna with some nice young men," and he was saying all that wild stuff. So we've covered a whole lot of Patrick.
Yeah, man. We have seen his ups and his downs,
and many downs.
A lot of downs,
and then more downs.
Yeah.
So Velveteen Vern has apologized. He has formally apologized.
Yep.
I've seen some of this. I have not seen it in full. I saw a piece of it, and I just wanted to make sure it was legit for today. And that's why I think I shared it with the group chat. I was like, you know what? I gotta have this for the show for sure. You told me, Vern, this thing's about 12 minutes long. If I'm not mistaken,
believe so. When you hit play, you'll see.
We're gonna let it run.
Yeah, but it says like mute us because it's all talking. It's just him talking.
For sure. Listen. Yeah. We let Patrick speak his mind with the whole EC3 thing, where he's like, "Is this damn? How do you turn this camera off?" We let him talk. Listen, if there's one person we like to hear is Patrick, right? We're gonna let Velveteen talk his talk. We're gonna let him explain himself. We'll see what happens on the other side. I can't wait to hear it. Are you ready? You ready, sir?
Hit it.
All right, let's get it.
As you've probably seen or have heard over the course of the last few years, I want to apologize for my behavior. Both professionally and personally, I always preach to those closest to me about the power of accountability and responsibility, and I take full accountability for my behavior over the last 3 years of my life. When narratives were written about me, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter what was written about me. It doesn't matter what was said about me. It doesn't matter what's on the internet about me. I was wrong. Okay. And because of that, I need to apologize to a few people. First, I want to apologize to the WWE organization. I want to apologize to the WWE organization for any unwanted attention and negative press that I brought to your brand and your product. I want to apologize to the WWE fans and the Velveteen Dream fans, because when you hear the name Velveteen Dream, it should have only been spoken about in a productive and a positive light, not the name Patrick Clark as another statistic of what happens when talent and opportunity meet immaturity. Okay. That's not what you spend your hard-earned money on. It's not what you invest your time and your money in. When you look on the TV and you come to the shows, you should escape reality, not have to deal with mine. I want to apologize to the WWE and the fans. I want to apologize to Paul Levesque. Paul, you are such an understanding and patient man and leader, and getting the opportunity to work with you and to learn from you, I get the sense of what makes you who you are and how you've been able to handle the responsibility of being in the public light for such a long time. I want to apologize to you, Paul. I'm sorry. Also, I want to say I'm sorry to Shawn Michaels. Shawn, it's still beyond me that I've been having the opportunity in this lifetime to learn from you, to have your mentorship and your guidance. And I apologize if you feel like you've wasted your time and your energy investing into me. You have not. I'm still a work in progress. I'm still learning. And I remember all the lessons that you've taught me. Shawn, I'm sorry. My best friend, Tahuti Miles, I want to apologize to you because before you were tied to me publicly for the support you've given me and you continue to give me, your resume was impeccable. And I apologize for any smudges that I may have put on that resume because of my behavior. You're the last person that should have to deal with anything like that. And I'm sorry, man. I want to apologize to my family, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, my nieces and my nephews, because you may read things, you may hear about things, you may be confronted by people who you don't know, and you might feel the need to explain yourselves on my behalf. I just want you to know that you do not have to do that ever. No one should have to explain anything for Patrick Clark. No one should have to trend because of Patrick Clark. No one should have to answer the questions. Oh, where's Patrick now? What did Patrick do? What happened with Patrick? That's not your responsibility. And I don't want you to feel burdened with that responsibility. That's my responsibility. Okay. And I apologize to you all for any energy, negative energy that has had to come your way because of me. Okay. Again, I want to apologize to the fans and those in my professional and personal life that I've affected by my behavior. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I recognize that I was losing myself, and I apologize to anyone that I lost along the way, anyone that I've upset or offended because of my behavior. Man, I'm sorry. And I hope you all forgive me. Thank you.
Oh, well, that wasn't too bad. Not too long. Not too long of an apology. So I kept some notes. I don't know if you noticed.
Yep.
First thing I want to say is I accept your apology, Velveteen Dream. It's okay. Don't worry about it. He said to the second one, Velveteen fans.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I as a fan was
I'm
like,
not.
man,
Yeah, I was a fan, so I accept your apology.
yeah, man.
It
I
sounded
do,
it sounded
I
genuine.
correct. And that's why I told you got to hear it, because
Yeah,
it
yeah,
didn't sound like it was just, all right, I need to get some positive energy on myself. It sounded like he just wanted, I mean, he looked good compared. Remember what he looked like before? He looked healthy.
yes. Even how do you turn this damn camera phone off? It didn't look like the same guy.
Thank you. It looked like
Yeah,
he edited this video. He took the time. He took
yeah,
the time to write something. Um, it's like two different people. And the person I saw today was not the person we talked about, you know, 90 weeks ago.
right,
So
right.
I
Of course,
genuinely hope
not the
that
same guy.
this is a real change for him.
Right.
And I hope that, I'm not saying I hope that this means he gets, this is a second career for him. I truly hope that as a person, as a human being, as an adult, this is his opportunity to move forward in life. And if that means he can find himself back in the wrestling, great. But if that just
If it
means that
helps,
he's an
if it
adult and
helps,
he's a
yeah.
functioning adult who's a contributing member to society in a way that, man, he's healthy, he's safe, and right, he's good, he's good, then
Right, and
I'd
he's
help that for
contributing
him.
to the product, and he's contributing to the
Correct.
product in the right way.
Correct. I hope
Because
that for him, right? Just doing signings and stuff, just being a
I
guy
mean,
who can
hey,
just
listen.
be a name on shows.
So I want to just run through real quick, and then we'll jump through that. So I just wanted to. He apologized to seven people. Let's say
Yep.
that. Apologized to the E for unwanted attention and negative attention. He apologized to the fans, specifically Velveteen fans. He feels like his talent and opportunity turned into immaturity. Paul Levesque, he called him an understanding and patient man, and I just puts him over huge
Yep.
for being in the public light since the 90s and being able to handle that situation. I look at that third apology as him looking inside himself and not taking the spotlight that he was starting to get in the correct way.
Yeah.
I think that's why I said, okay, that's a good apology.
And that's
that's
huge.
why.
That's huge
That's growth.
as a star to be able to say, yo, I couldn't handle being a star.
Right.
I shout out to you because you understood it. I couldn't do it.
The ego took over. You could tell that's what it was. Because no man, no professional wrestler would ever have the balls to put "Call Me Up Vince" on their gear at an NXT show. Nobody, if you don't have a big ego. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to have a huge ego to put "Call Me Up Vince" on your gear.
Sure.
Yes, you have to. So I'm sure he that with that part of his apology, he had looked within and was like, man, if I followed the footsteps like Paul, it would have been better.
Yeah.
So then he went to Sean and he apologized for feeling if his time was wasted, if he wasted Sean's time. Another big one.
Yeah, really interesting though, huh? To say like, sorry if you feel your lessons are wasted on me. Like again, I think that you just said in terms of personal growth, right? To be like, wow, I don't want you to feel like you wasted your time like investing in me.
Because I don't want you to think that, because that hurts his feelings more. Do you know what I mean? Then he apologized. He didn't say his gimmick name. He said his real name, Tahuti Miles, Ashante Adonis, who's getting heat for bailing him out constantly, helping him, giving him money. So
being his friend.
Being a friend, go figure, right? He's getting heat for that. And then his family, of course. Now, that would be in there. That was for you don't have to explain me to people for me. That's what he was saying. Like, don't explain Patrick. Just you don't have to do that. I'm sorry if you have to, which is again growth. This didn't feel like one of them YouTuber apologies where it's like, I'm sorry, but it's really this person's fault.
I'm sorry that the environment I'm in caused me to behave this way.
Right. And I'm still going to stand on what I believe, but I'm sorry. No.
Yes. Where you watch it and go, what?
Yes.
It's not an apology.
Right. And he apologized.
It's not like he stood on business. It's not like he stood on business. That he stood on business and was like, yo,
I effed up. I effed up.
I have messed up. And now this is me coming to the carpet to say, I acknowledge the fact that I messed up in a bunch of ways.
Right. So I say that to ask you this. Does he get another chance? Does he come back? Is Velveteen on Raw, SmackDown?
So I will say this. I think that if that was even a conversation to ever be had again, I think we need at least a year of consistency. You know what I mean? Like, I think, unfortunately, time is a factor here.
This isn't enough.
Time, unfortunately, time is a factor here, right?
One apology is not going to mend
Nope.
3 years of what he's been doing.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, because he was a
Unfortunately,
part of the, not Me Too, but Speak Out, right?
speaking out, yes. He was unfortunately
Yes,
caught
yes. So
up in that.
that was
He
in
was
2020.
scandaled in that. And again, right, the
Yep.
scandal, and it came back. There was nothing, there was no smoke to the fire, right? Like
Right, but
people
it
were
was too
still,
late.
it was too late. Though it was too
Cancel
late.
culture, all that nonsense.
It was
So
in full effect, and he became a victim of that. But at the
yep.
same time, even if he was a victim of that, unfortunately, he didn't help himself. Like he said,
Right, because all the stuff that happened these past 3 years have been as a contracted WWE professional wrestler. So it would have looked even worse on the company. You would have gave him more unwanted and negative attention.
yeah,
Because he's doing it and he's not even contracted, because all the headlines are going to say is former WWE wrestler.
Velveteen
like,
Dream. Nothing
right.
said Patrick Clark. It's all Velveteen Dream.
No,
Velveteen
no,
Dream.
it's they're going to put what the media knows him as. So
Yeah, no, man. Listen, I've really, at all
I'm
sincerity,
going to say put a bow
Patrick
on it.
Clark, if you ever see this, I do truly hope and pray that everything you said is of heart, man. And I hope that you get better and continue to do better. And I generally hope to see you at a show someday, somewhere soon.
I hope. I think for him, he can't do indies. I don't think so. I think his character was so over. Even on NXT, his character was so over. He couldn't. I don't think he can go back to indies and be that, right, and just be Patrick Clark.
Sure.
Velveteen Dream needs to come back. We need to see that on national television. And if CM Punk can be on our TVs in 2024 at the end of 2023, it could happen.
Oh, anything can happen.
Of course.
CM Punk truly does prove
right. Anything is possible.
Can happen. Anything is possible.
That's a fact. It's true. So I think
I definitely said this quote wrong, by the way. At first. I was like, anything
anything happen.
I said it wrong.
We'll let it slide. We'll let that one slide.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, if he stays on the right path, all we need to see is this one thing, Vern. Dirt Sheet website, breaking, Velveteen Dream, seen at Performance Center. That's all we need. Because as soon as we saw with Randy, Homeboy's back at Survivor Series, right? So all we need to see, Velveteen Dream back at the Performance Center, rumor. That's all we need.
Oh.
And then we know what's up.
You know what? I think, honestly, even if I just heard he got a trout, I'd like to know he even just got a trout.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. Even if
that would be a humbling way. That would be a humbling way of putting him back in the mold. If you make him start completely over, because he did Tough Enough. Don't get me wrong. He did Tough Enough, but make him go. But he was there when the PC first opened. Like he was one of the first PC kids. Mm-hmm. So have him run through the whole PC process again. Have him do an open tryout and see if he can make it.
You know what, though? Unfortunately, I don't know that the crowd who's there would forgive him. You know what I mean? Like that's a thing, right? Remember that's a fickle crowd. You think so?
Yes.
That's a fickle crowd.
You're talking about the actual crowd in the
like the actual crowd there, not the.
I mean, you saw what they
crowd.
did to You saw what they did to MSK, right?
Wesley, that was back then, but that was back. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The new, it's a different audience now, so I don't know. You know,
I think. Come on, Velveteen Dream was over enough. If you heard "ow" and that music starts hitting, the people will lose their mind. I'm gonna just say this one thing.
Shoot.
I noticed something on watching NXT TV. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of melanin in that small crowd. There's a lot of melanin in that small crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Velveteen, Whoop That Trick doesn't pop off the way it does if it wasn't for that melanin in those seats, right? I think you bring Velveteen back. I think the melanin in that crowd is overpowering enough where it's a positive reaction for when he shows up. For sure. Okay. That's just my take on it.
Yeah.
And of course it's
a Florida crowd. It's a Florida crowd.
So, that's my take on it. Anything else you want to add before we move on? The next one's about to be all you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, Velveteen, Patrick.
You, my boy.
It sounds so far so good. Good step in the right direction. That's how I look at it. So talk to me, Vern. I really don't know about this. Yeah, I was talking about it in the group chat.
Yep.
I was on the phone looking, and y'all were like 80 texts in, and I just put I'm so lost, and then none of y'all explained it. So explain it to me now. Jericho, Jericho, Kylie Ray. Talk to me. What is going on?
I'll give you the scoop.
Bullet points. I don't need the whole drama. Just give me
real quick. So this all starts off with Nick Houseman. Nick Houseman apparently is at the center of this whole thing.
That's you don't like. That's one of them guys that be tweeting that you don't like, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I read an article and you were like, let me guess, he's gonna say something. It was a CM Punk article.
Yes, Nick Houseman.
Yeah, you don't like that guy. Yeah, I remember.
He's sometimes Nick Houseman. He's very, very anti-Punk. I don't know. I don't get him. Anyway.
Yep, I remember that.
I got to read this quote because it's what the issue becomes. Nick Houseman on the show says, and I quote, this is Nick Houseman saying this. This reported at WrestlePurist on Twitter reported this. I'm just rereading because they were
verbatim.
This is verbatim. They're the ones who did the recap. So they're the ones this is their translation of it.
Sure.
Nick Houseman said there are issues with Chris behind the scenes where there's a lot of people who have been hurt by Chris and his actions. It is very uncomfortable to me to see him lauded as often as he is with the focus on that, because I do think there's a lot of questionable stories about Chris that will find their way out over time when people are ready to tell those stories. That will cast him in a very different light. Look, Harvey Weinstein won a lot of Oscars. Harvey Weinstein produced a lot of popular films. Harvey Weinstein is now in jail. I'm not saying that is going to happen to Chris, but the narrative can very quickly turn if you're hiding a lot of skeletons. Now, he never mentions Kylie Ray, never says anything about her. Okay,
but hold on. Before you continue on.
Yep, go ahead.
He compared Jericho to Harvey Weinstein? Oh, wait. Jeffrey Epstein is dead. Harvey Weinstein is in jail.
Correct.
Harvey Weinstein's the big dude from New Line Cinema. He's
who was always looking dusty when he was out there.
Always looking dusty, sloppy. Even though he was in a suit, still looked sloppy, no tie. And I've heard the stories of what he's done to women. Disgusting. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So at I Talk Wrestling posted the clip, and this is how the IWC works. They posted this clip, that clip of him saying this.
Blew it out of proportion, of course.
Then mentioned in the thread of rumor thread story previously going around that about Kylie Ray, and the story being that Kylie Ray had been with AEW and that Kylie Ray had some sort of interaction with the talent, and that after said interaction is when she quit.
Oh, that's the reason why she left.
Okay.
That's Smiley Kylie Ray, right? She has a smiley face on her gear.
Smiley Kylie, who is now pregnant with a child. Congratulations to her.
Congrats.
But Smiley Kylie.
Yeah. She's got
and that's why she abruptly left. That she abruptly left, citing all sorts of issues that she mentally had a breakdown while she was there, apparently from this interaction.
Yeah.
So after the story about Jericho and all this came out, Smiley Kylie replied to said thread and posted a heart emoji.
And that's it.
That's all she posted.
And that's all you need in 2024 now, Vern. Okay. And then it was 23, but that's all you need nowadays. All you need is the person that is the topic of the subject to make any kind of response. Confirmed.
Okay. So she puts out a heart emoji and the conversation becomes a lot bigger.
Of course.
So then in this new clip, so since then, Nick Houseman has been accused Nick Houseman has been accused of backtracking, that he was like, well, I never said anything about Kylie Ray, etc., etc., etc.
Why would he bring it up if he didn't have any legitimate names? Why would he bring it up?
I will now read the second quote from him in response. He cleared up that he didn't mention Kylie Ray by name because he didn't. I want to be very clear that my opinions of Chris are my opinions of Chris. I've heard a lot of things over the years. I don't personally like Chris Jericho. I think that's pretty obvious at this point. I think there's a lot of issues there. There are other people that when issues come to the surface, it can be taken away from the legacy that they've created. And that is just a concern that I have for Chris. And that is all I ever meant by my comments. And that
you said Harvey Weinstein, bro.
And that then elicited a thread, that clip, where other people were starting to allude to previous allegations against Chris. Sexual misconduct allegations, some of them involving, I hate to say this, because I have not personally mentioned her, and I really would like to respect her privacy.
So why'd you say anything at all, Hat? I'm sorry. This guy's I hate, he's backtracking, like you said. You're gonna come out say some stuff that's super aggressive about somebody. You clearly putting dirt on his name, but now you want to backtrack when a name comes out that you didn't want to mention.
That's what the whole story is about.
Get out of here, gang. Get out of here.
So since then, it's so at the show at World's End, like we'll talk about, during the match, people started chanting. So the rumor was
they were booing him in the match.
Okay,
They booed
and
him.
the story was that the rumor was that Kylie Ray, after her appearance, Chris Jericho invited her up to his room, and that she was told, "Hey, Jericho wants to see you," and she thought she was going up there like, right, she's a fan, etc. And that she went up there, and apparently it was just him and her by themselves, and that he tried to like Harvey Weinstein her, like lock the door.
That's what Weinstein
like,
did, bro.
Yo, what's up? If you're trying to get over,
you're
blah,
trying
blah, blah.
Yeah, I got you.
And
just,
so then that
massage my back with no pants on,
and she just wasn't having it, and that henceforth the breakdown. And so since then, that Jericho had her sign an NDA afterwards. And that since that was like the whole breakdown. That's why people were during the match, people were chanting NDA, NDA,
That's what they were chanting?
NDA. Yes, because Jericho's been and this all started based on this Nick Houseman thing.
Because of a tweet.
And so everyone's been up in fervor, like, holy heck, Jericho's a sex pest. Jericho's a sex pest. But then Houseman, like I just read, has said, yo, I never brought up Kylie Ray. I didn't say that. I never said I didn't bring up NDAs. I didn't do any of that. I just said that there's allegations.
I'm not touching you, Vern. I'm not touching you, Vern. Why are you getting mad? I'm not touching you, Vern.
Yes,
I'm not touching you. You can't tell mom. You can't tell mom I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you, Vern.
That's the beef currently going around right now between Nick Houseman, Chris Jericho, and Kylie Ray. She put out an emoji. He put out a rumor. She put an emoji. And so the IWC, so the Fickle Mistress said that this is, don't you think it's kind of weird that he put that up and then she decided to comment and put the emoji? You don't think it's kind of strange? And backtrack is the buzzword.
What's the acronym? DAE? Doesn't everybody
day.
Doesn't it always everybody?
Yup, day. Yeah, day that you think it day. It's interesting how they just coincidentally, she just happened to comment on that thread that she orchestrated just to get herself buzzed. Mind you, she's like 6 months pregnant. So
yeah, no,
I don't
she's
know what
like 12 months pregnant.
Okay,
she's huge.
So what buzz she's trying to build for her comeback, I guess. But apparently that this was orchestrated by them and that Nick Houseman. So now it's a big conspiracy that Houseman should get sued. Jericho should get the biggest lawyers.
Defamation of character.
Yes, because clearly that's what happened. But Jericho has been. Now this is the issue. To the man who was tweeting at 4 a.m. out fighting with Stephen P. News, CM Punk's lawyer, at 4 a.m. on Christmas,
tweeting like crazy. Radio silent
on these accusations. And so that's why, as much as everyone's trying to be like, oh, it's conspiracy, it's like, yeah, but how come he hasn't said anything?
How come he didn't shoot it down immediately?
How come none of the pro Jericho sites are saying it's everyone's just reporting on?
Has he said anything on his podcast?
Everyone's saying, oh, well, look, Houseman backtracked, so it's false. Houseman backtracked, it's false. Houseman backtracked. That's all everyone's saying. But like I just said, Houseman never backtracks.
He never backtracked. I never mentioned Kylie. He's still Harvey Weinstein. He called him Harvey. You can't, Vern, that's like, I'm trying to think of something. That's like me calling you TD Jakes and being like, nah, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Like, no, bro. Like, that is no.
Yes. That is the current. That's what you're missing out on right now. That's the fight online.
I'm really not missing anything. I'm listening to Fickle Mistress just blow things out of proportion.
So the Fickle Mistress right now imploding on itself because half of them now say, okay, Jericho's a sex pest. I knew it.
Yeah.
The other half say, got to hear both sides. And some are saying, what do you mean? This is fake news. They're just trying to check our boy. They're trying to attack our boy.
Oh my God.
The Dub beat the Fed. The Dub beat Monday Night Raw finally, and this is how they retaliated.
Hold on.
The other conspiracy.
Hold on, wait.
That was it. Thank you. That was it. Thank you.
When did the Dub beat Monday Night Raw?
Okay. The Christmas Raw, the Christmas special of Raw, that was just a recap show.
That doesn't count. It's a best of 2023.
Listen, I'm explaining it to you. The best of Raw lost. It didn't draw. It drew 600 some thousand. AEW drew 800 some thousand.
They drew their regular number, and people turned on Raw, saw it was a best of, and turned it off.
Okay, so that's
what I did.
That same week, this story came out. So isn't it coincident? Yes, you just rolled your yes.
TKO. Yes. It was TKO. They're trying to get us on the flywheel.
Nick Houseman's getting paid. Kylie Ray's in on the take, having a kid.
Oh my God. Stop.
Frank, I promise you, I wish I was making this up, but this is the connections that they've drawn, and that's what the hate's all now, because everyone's in on that. They're trying to take down our boy.
Such nonsense.
Everyone's protecting Tony. Somehow it always comes back to Tony.
Saint Tony. Saint Tony. Got to protect Matoni. Without Matoni, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
So that's the insane story going on online right now.
Screw that.
This is some sort of grand conspiracy that's been birthed to do damage to Dub because the Dub beat Raw finally. Because their live stacked show finally beat a best of taped TV show.
That's so dumb. That's so dumb. But I do want to say one thing. I'm glad that Christmas Raw was a taped show that was just
they gave the guys
had the week off. They had the week off.
The week off? It was 3 days off.
Well,
I cannot believe they got that much. That's like the most time
it was 3 days off. It was they got off Eve and Christmas.
Yeah.
If it was Vince, I think I said it with DSP or last time. I said somebody be stunning Santa. Somebody would be beating up Santa on Christmas. There'd be some kind of street fight on Christmas Day. Yep. Vince was talking about what? We're not missing out.
They did the street fight. Remember, they did the street fight 2 weeks.
They did it the week before.
Christmas.
Yeah, like this.
And they recorded Raw after, and they recorded the SmackDown, and
right. So it's like I love the fact. That's why I'm like, I'll take that. I saw it. I was like, oh yeah, they got today off, and I turned it off. I was like,
but just so you can cry your smart tears, AEW beat Raw in the ratings. Chris Jericho's tweet from 4 years ago where he said we're going to beat Raw in the ratings, it finally came true. That tweet also came back up.
Oh my God, you got to be kidding, bro. All right, can we move on? Can we take a trip?
You wanted me to inform you. There it is. You got the whole sandwich.
Okay, so let me just comment on that in a nutshell before we go on. There is some truth behind it. It seems like.
I think it's hard to ignore.
Yes, there's definitely some truth. To not come out and outright deny it, like you're waiting for. It seems like you're waiting for other stuff to come out. I don't know the story.
And it was so specific, though. You
know what I hate? You know what I hate, though? You know what I hate? Who is this Houseman guy? What is he?
He's a wrestling journalist.
Dirt sheet wrestling journalist? Or he gets paid like by Sports Illustrated or
Forbes? No, wrestling. Fortune? I think he's like his own. I'll tell you right now.
So he's a dirt sheet guy. Right?
Nick Houseman. Who's he work for? I think he's just a dirt sheet guy.
I asked that to ask this. How can he say he doesn't like Chris Jericho on a personal level? Has he shared the road with Chris Jericho? Has he shared the ring with Chris Jericho?
He would like to thank at WrestleTalk TV for removing the video I posted about earlier. I have deleted my earlier post about it. Apparently, House of Wrestling he's the owner of House of Wrestling.
Okay, so he's a dirt sheet guy. How can he personally not like Chris Jericho? You know what this reminds me of? I was at my job. And I was talking with a customer with my boss. This guy, both these guys said,
Freddie,
personally, I don't like LeBron James.
Yeah.
I said, in my head, they're like, you like LeBron? I said, he's a hell of a basketball player. They said, oh yeah, but personally, I don't like him. I'm like, you've never met the man.
You mean professionally, you don't like him?
Yeah, you don't like him because of how he plays. Okay. But personally, you don't like him. You don't know him personally. You don't know the man that goes to bed in Calabasas or wherever he lives. You don't know that guy. You see the guy in a yellow uniform on television for 3 hours, and personally, you don't like him. I don't. That's the same thing with Houseman, it sounds like. You may have had tiny interactions with this dude, barely, and you're a dirt sheet writer. So I'm already looking at you negatively.
But he's also broke big stories. I'm just letting you know. But he's also like one of the guys who breaks big stories. And
whatever.
Stuff, so,
I could break a big story if somebody leaked it to me. I could break a big story too. I'm not giving credit for that no more. Whatever. You're a dirt sheet writer, bro. You are what you are.
Houseman is notorious for being one of the guys who jumps on stuff early. He's also reporting, by the way, Jericho wasn't at TV today.
There was no Jericho today?
Nope. Doesn't appear on the post.
There is some truth behind it, though.
Man, that's weird.
I'll give him that. For him to go he didn't say it like that, but he pretty much said Chris Jericho is Harvey Weinstein. I might call this episode Harvey Jericho. I'm thinking about it, or Chris Weinstein or something in my head.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that it's an acting title as we go. Harvey Jericho. You don't call somebody Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah,
and not some
correct. Not
background.
Be a calculated comment, and not be a calculated. You specifically named him. You could have named anyone. You named him.
You went Harvey Weinstein, who is a nasty man.
You could have said Bill Cosby. You could have said anything.
Anybody else.
Harvey Weinstein.
You went Harvey Weinstein.
Worst of the worst.
Right. You did that for a reason. There's something possibly about Kylie Ray, that she might have told you that you don't want it to leak out, but the internet sleuths put 3 and 2 together.
That was a rumor. So that was a rumor going on around her, but the NDA part's the part that was missing to the story, right? The NDA, and it was Jericho. But the rumor was that she had some interaction with somebody that went sour. But it never occurred to me it was a sexual interaction, or that someone was like, "Hey, I need you to massage my back while you take your pants off," kind of thing,
Or what's the one that got homeboy blackballed out here? Can you put oil on my back? You remember that?
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Homeboy asked old girl to put oil on his back, and he got the fire slapped out of him for it.
Correct.
Blackballed from professional wrestling. So, we say all that to say this, bro. There's more. Can't wait to see what happens. We'll probably be in our different era, but if something pops up, I'm sure we'll cover it. We'll talk about it.
I'm sure we will.
All right. Are you ready to go across the pond now?
Let's do it, friend.
Let's head to Japan. Talk about one of our favorites, Kota Ibushi, Vern, or the shell of his former self, I should say. The Kota Ibushi I wanted to be in the WWE was the one that was even in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah,
that Kota, prime Kota, man, he was it.
Can we say, kind of like we said before off air, there was a window of opportunity, but it has since slammed on his fingers. That window it has slammed on his fingers.
I'm trying to think of something more harsh than that. Maybe slammed on his whole hands, not even just his fingers, instead of palms, because it's gone. When we saw him on AEW television, we were like, this ain't Kota. Who is this guy?
Looking like Gumby. Yeah. Looking
like formless. It didn't look right.
Formless. Oh,
yeah.
Terrible.
It didn't look right, because Kota has always been a guy who's been in incredible shape.
Yep.
I mean,
looking like
muscles.
Untextured CA dub. That's what he looked like.
Right. Or like a raw action figure. Just flesh colored. And it's just muscles. That's it. You know what I mean? You know the ones I'm talking about. The old school wrestlers you get, and it's flesh colored, and he has on trunks and it's stars, but all of that is flesh colored.
Correct.
That's how
no
Kota
definition
was built.
whatsoever.
Yeah, that's how he was built. Now I don't know what happened, but let's talk about Kota. Kota had an interesting main event for Pro Wrestling Noah's New Year's show. They had their own New Year's show at the Dome. They call it the New Year 2024. I just saw the name now. I'm going to read the article. Apparently, I'm just going to give a little preface. Help me out, college education.
That works.
Thank you. With what happened, he was hurt, right? He was hurt way beforehand. Messed up shoulder, tore up ankle, right? Beforehand, and he made it worse competing in this match. This headline reads from Wrestling Inc., one of those dirt sheet sites we were talking about, by Nick Miller, not the guy from TMDK. Kota Ibushi reportedly hospitalized. You like that one, huh? Following recent Noah match. This was posted January 2nd, so as of right now, yesterday. Earlier today, Kota Ibushi took part in the main event of Pro Wrestling Noah's The New Year 2024, facing Naomichi Marufuji in singles action. During the bout, Ibushi reportedly suffered injuries to both of his ankles via sports hochi with a hat tip to post wrestling, with one particular spot, a moonsault outside the ring, seemingly doing a lot of damage to the performer. Sorry. Following the match, Ibushi was said to have been in extreme pain and was soon taken to a hospital via ambulance. Despite suffering the injuries early on in the match, Ibushi continued through and eventually was declared the winner. News about his hospital trip became public when Noah director, I'm going to go with Narahiro Takeda. That's what I'm going to go with. With Noah director Narahiro Takeda or Tekida, appeared backstage to let those in attendance know that Ibushi would not be making any post-match comments. The last several years have been trying ones for Ibushi. The former New Japan Pro Wrestling star suffered a major shoulder injury in late 2021. We covered that, along with other compounding issues, kept him out of the ring for nearly a year and a half. Remember, he had that little back and forth with New Japan officials about his injuries. You remember we discussed that a while back? Yep. He made his return in March 2023, quickly re-injuring his shoulder and requiring some additional time off. That was in Japan. He re-injured his shoulder.
Yep.
Wow. And then he went back. He went to AEW. Ibushi then. Oh, the dog farted again. Jesus. Oh, hold on. I need a swig. Oh, because it gets in your taste buds. It's disgusting. Another whiff. All right. Oh, and he's sleeping. That's what makes it worse. He's doing it in his sleep. Ibushi then made his AEW debut in July's Blood and Guts match, wrestling several additional multi-man bouts with the promotion since. With the recent injury to Ibushi's tag partner, Kenny Omega, keeping him out of the ring indefinitely, it's unclear if there were any plans to bring Ibushi back to the United States soon. If there were, those will now have to be put on hold as Ibushi recovers. Vern, we watched that match.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't know how much this guy's getting paid to write this article.
He's lying.
Clearly, that was such a puff piece on what we watched.
Yeah, we watched that match. He was hurt from the jump.
He walked in looking like the Tin Man.
Yeah, he was ginger, very ginger with his movement.
Oh,
he would reverse Irish whips.
Listen,
and wouldn't turn the entire way.
Franny, how much daylight was there in the headlocks? You could see the sun. There was so much daylight.
The up and out where he had to like use his upper body
to pull himself and drag himself across the rope.
There it is. Kota Ibushi, that entire match was using his upper body the entire time. When he needed to jump to do a move in cooperation with Marufuji, he couldn't do it several times. Every time he had to jump, he couldn't spring off.
Nope.
And that was before the moonsault.
Oh.
That was before the moonsault. That was
talk about the nasty. Because at first we both were like, "Oh, what's the moonsault?" But man, we watched it in replay. Holy cow!
His right ankle collapses on top of itself, on top of the weight of his body, and it's turned in a way where the ankle is bent inward. The outside of the ankle was bent inward.
Yep.
Because he was compensating for whatever was wrong with his left ankle. Clearly, something was wrong with his left ankle. He put all the weight on his right, and all of his body weight went on that right ankle. Like we said off air, like Indy Hartwell.
Yep.
The same idea. So,
and he twisted. The ref asked, "Are you okay?" And you see him go, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Keeps going.
This was 15 minutes into a 30-minute
match. Yep.
And we both were like, "Oh, okay, this should probably be near the end then," because we were going to start recording.
They went over 30.
Kept going longer.
Yep. Unnecessary too, because we were skipping ahead. We're not going to sit here and act like we watched all 30. We skipped ahead because there was a lot of dead spots in those 30 minutes. Yeah, there was graveyard.
Icebergs. I've seen icebergs floating through water that were more exciting and had more action to it than what we were watching.
I think I counted. It was the bump to the outside. It was after the moonsault. It took about 75 seconds of real time before they both were in the ring and doing more action. It took about 75 seconds.
It took 75 for Kota to stand up and just fall into the ring. He could barely jump.
He had no. So I remember reading the comments because I didn't see the match, but I saw the clips you guys were showing me of guys getting hurt. And I read the comments and guys were like, well, he was hurt already. Why are you guys trying to bash him? Now you're calling him washed because he was already hurt. I get that, but nobody told him to go out there. The style of Kota Ibushi cannot survive with bad wheels.
So and I had this conversation with Prof.
Sure.
Is this not a product of, I heard a great take on the Laps today.
Sure.
On their discussion of WrestleMania X7. Okay. I've been doing all the mains. And so they said the final Austin Rock match is the first time at a mains that we're going to trade finishes back to back.
Is that the first time?
That's the first time at the mains,
each other's moves?
at the mains where they hit each other's moves. Correct. Remember that match was all punch kick until they got to the falsies.
Yeah, they go falsie for falsie. That match.
That's
put that match over. I think there's brawling on the outside, a couple punches, kicks in the inside. Rock's hit a stunner. Stone Cold hits a rock bottom. Back and forth, back and forth. They hit their own moves, a couple of kickouts. Yeah, they did nothing really.
Yep.
But they couldn't because Stone Cold was feeling terrible.
That.
But go ahead.
They couldn't because he was physically limited. So they did. They put on the best match they could for physical limitation.
Yes.
That style of match, though, all of a sudden, look at the way the crowd reacted. Think about the reactions the crowd had when they were doing falsies, right? It was, what?
Same with Shawn and Undertaker when they did it at Mania. But that was like 8 years later.
Who did it first? Rock and Austin, you could argue, is the inception of, all right, it's going to be Falsy Fest now. It's
at least for the WWE, because that's not a new idea.
Correct, not a new idea, but for the WWE style,
you don't kick out of finishes unless you really mean it. You know what I mean?
So we're not going to use each other's finishes. We're going to trade finishes.
Right, that rarely happened. Rarely happened. Yeah.
And think about it now. What's it turned into? Now it's turned into, okay, we can start a match off power bomb, sharpshooter, headlock.
What was that car crash match of the week we were talking about last week or last show? The 6-man. Where it started off, dude just threw a clothesline. They're just staring off at each other, and he threw a clothesline. I'm like, huh? Who just runs at somebody? Ah! Who runs at somebody like that? Ah! What? Like it didn't make any sense.
Man, it
sucks. That's all I'm gonna say about Coda.
Coda, it's a shell of the former self in a sense of like, oh no, you've seen him do, and you're watching a man who's physically throwing so that was the crazy part, right? He threw a violent kicks towards the end of the match, still throwing violent kicks.
Yes, he was trying to do his little Sonic the Hedgehog scurry, couldn't even do that. He was just pitter patting as he gingerly ran. How many knees that he did towards the end?
Power slam, roll through,
moonsault spot, which also he was ginger on.
Idiots.
Everything didn't hit because of his wheels.
Yeah.
So he had no business out there. Okay, my style of professional wrestling, I'm a big dude. I pick people up, I put them down, I slam them hard.
Yeah.
If I've got a bum shoulder and I can't pick it up past here, guys, I can't wrestle tonight. I can't. We could try to make it work, but a lot of the stuff that I do, I can't do. I've wrestled with the bubble guts where you hit me right, the back of my gear might be brown.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I've wrestled like that.
Sure.
What did I do? We did a workaround. I said, Shay, I can't work tonight. I said, let's come up with a gimmick where they take me out early and I just come in for the hot tag and the finish. Boom, we made it work. Shay had a similar situation. That's the time the ring ropes broke on me. You've seen that?
Yeah.
I showed you that, right?
Yes, sir.
That situation was because I had to take the heat because Shay had the bubble guts that day and he couldn't work. I said, we'll just do the same exact thing. So happened to be me in the heat. The top ring rope broke. We went right to the hot tag and a finish from there anyway. So it didn't matter. But there's ways to work around it. He refused to change his style.
Or the match. The psychology of the match made zero sense towards the end.
They were just hitting moves. I don't know what the story was. The story was Coda's hurt. Why is he out there?
Coda's hurt. Let's see how long we can get and the crowd was
the crowd. The
crowd was being kind.
Yeah. Because they're quiet already because it's Japan. Yeah. But they were like concerned quiet. Kind of like when Cody took his jacket off quiet. Like the groans. Even when Coda did a move, Coda hit a running knee and it was the Kenny Omega scurry. I call it the Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah. The running in place. And then
the Naruto run, then they just knee you.
Right. And you would think the crowd, you hear a groan from a crowd in Japan.
Man.
From them, it was just like, oh.
When he hit that knee in the corner, he didn't jump. Coda just ran and legit threw a knee to the thighs.
What about the one where he's on the top turnbuckle and he thinks he's going to do the double stomp where he's jumping off and he just goes knee and makes him fall from the second buckle. It was just an awful match. Yeah. I think that's your car crash of the week, brother.
Matter of fact, that's the but it's the slowest car. It's a car crash
that could have been avoided. It's a car crash. It was a 10-mile-an-hour fender bender, right? Yeah. That could have been avoided. The old lady just was looking down for change in her purse for too long. It could have been avoided.
Yeah,
but unfortunately it happened, and now somebody's got to pay the insurance.
And the crazy part is, it was like an old lady in a rusty boat of a Buick.
Oh yeah,
a kid in a tuner car, and the tuner car, You just had to both watch the tuning car get savaged while the boat's just rolling
while
away.
The boat just ran right
because
through.
Coda won. They put him over.
Coda winning is crazy. Like, think of this. I'm sorry. Sasha, Mercedes Moné gets hurt in her match. Very similar. She slips, though. Hurts her ankle.
And puts the other girl over.
You
need to win the belt.
I can't. You need to win. Recently, Charlotte gets hurt on TV. Let's be done with it. Coda, you are already hurt going in. You clearly can't do any of the things that you normally can. You had no business in there. I know you were the main event.
Coda, watch me try. Hold my beer.
They recently, look at what happened. We're going to talk about day one. Look what happened to Vinci. They immediately stopped it.
Bro, did you see the fan shot of that? Did you see the fan Twitter?
I didn't.
Twitter shot of him from the side.
If you can find it, link it because I bet we can play that. Okay.
Yes. Oh my God. That's how you know that he was messed up.
Okay. All right. So let's move on from one Japanese wrestler to another one. So Vern, Great Muta has a daughter who debuted, as far as I know. I could be wrong. She made her Pro Wrestling Noah debut at the same show we're talking about, the New Year 2024. Let me just get the link here because we're going to show her entrance while we talk about it. We obviously don't have a lot to talk about, but it's just something I want to bring up because, Muta's a freaking legend. And if his daughter's coming into the business, that's a big deal, at least in my eyes. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to cue it up now. Her name, I think Muta said in the promo we watched on air, her name was the Great Sakuya. I'm trying to find it now. I think it was right here. Yep. So what we saw, it seemed to be what was setting up this tag match here at Noah. She had a girl turn on a friend of hers and look like some kind of mind control or something. She missed someone, then had some mind control over this girl, then it turned into this tag match. I'm gonna pop it up now. Boom, boom. Ooh. I shouldn't have done it that way. Dead giveaway. So here we are on Pro Wrestling Noah. I think these are the other ladies, so I'm gonna skip ahead and I'm actually gonna mute it, Vern, while we do this because I don't want any copyrights or anything to be taken away. I'll also give us this view so we're on the picture. We're on said picture, all right? So yes, she had this tag match. I'm gonna skip ahead till we get to her. Vern, honestly, I kind of want your live reaction to how she looks. We can't hear, so just give me your live reaction to how she looks. This is her coming out right now.
So gear-wise, very old school, classic Great Muta with the classic Muta helmet.
Yep.
She's moving, does a spin, has a fan in her hand,
which is feminine in their culture. So that works with the gimmick. I like it. So
I'm digging what I'm seeing.
Yeah. And this is a whole elaborate entrance for her. I mean, Xia Li has something like this on SmackDown right now.
Yeah.
That I don't think works without the special effects when they do it on WWE TV.
Correct.
But this looks good. I like this so far. She also has the fake tape fingers like Muta. She's literally Lady Muta is what I'm looking at right now, if I'm not mistaken, right?
100% she's Lady Muta.
Right. I'm waiting for the hood to get gone.
You know what? It looks like his daughter. What it is it looks like his daughter. You can tell that's his daughter. There's no part of me that says like, yeah.
Look at the walk.
Like she has taken the time to like learn her daddy.
Oh, I love that. Everything's unknown. They don't know her age. They don't know her height. They don't know her weight. I absolutely love that.
What a great way, right, to introduce that idea of like, right,
the unknown, right? I mean, because look at the promo we watched earlier, where he's like making the mist or making something that like it almost looked like he drugged her because she passes out, and then he turns and looks again, and she's back up on her knees or something. It was a cool visual, even for just an introduction promo. So they got separate entrances. This is what I was waiting to see. Okay, there's a zoom in. All right, Vern. There we go. There's our still of the Great Sakuya. I love it.
I dig it. Hey,
I want to watch this actually, not now, like the match, but I want to watch this here because if she works and she's Lady Muta, she's gonna be a star. I'm gonna just say it now. She won't be in Noah for long. New Japan's gonna have to figure something out to put more ladies on their TV because I know they don't do that much. Like I know they did a showcase.
It's exciting, but you know what? It's exciting to see that Muta would pass on his gimmick to his daughter.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
It's awesome. It's awesome to see that. It's given me like a Charlotte Flair kind of vibe. Like she might be able to fill her father's role.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
Yeah,
right? We don't
hopefully.
know much about her except we just watched her debut, so we'll
We
see.
watched her. We literally just
And
watched her.
she could do the mist. She did the mist in that one her opening promo we
the
saw.
promo where she did where the girl turned. So far so good. I definitely am gonna watch this. I'll probably watch this after. I'm gonna leave that up actually.
Yeah.
And I'll probably have that on afterwards. So anything else on that? I mean, that was a quick hitter, and we got another quick hitter as well.
Let's hit another one. Is it Charlie Dempsey?
Charlie Dempsey.
Oh,
It's crazy to me because let me just say this, Vern. But when you expanded my horizon, you're the one who told me about Japanese pro wrestling because all I knew was American pro wrestling, and the most I knew was a few indies, like Ring of Honor was all I knew. But then Ring of Honor started bringing all these Japanese guys, so I asked you questions, and then you introduced me to the world of Puro Rezoringu. So now it's funny to me that it's 2024 and I'm seeing we spoke about Big Japan earlier off the air. We're looking at All Japan. There's New Japan. There's Noah. I mean, even DDT's in the mix still somewhere. Yeah. Even though they're doing
All Japan's really had a big resurgence. Yeah, All Japan's really made a comeback.
And it's crazy because nobody was talking about this a few years ago, like pre-pandemic. Nobody was bringing up All Japan. All we talked about was New Japan. No. That's like it was kind of like a monopoly almost.
They just had the Japanese. I forget. It's like the Japanese Wrestling Summit, Japanese Wrestling Council. They just formed something with all these companies, all these different.
Yeah, where they came together, right?
Come together and said that they're going to work together. No, but they're going to come together to work for the common good. Well, because I just don't. I'm not necessarily fully versed at anymore in Japanese pro wrestling like I used to be.
So while I'm queuing up this this video here, I'm going to piggyback what you just. Oh wow, it picked up right where I left off. Perfect.
Yeah.
Let me full screen that. I'm just gonna say I agree with you with the fact that we don't really cover it because we don't really watch it. I'm just gonna be honest, and I think we're gonna talk about it when we talk about Wrestle Kingdom. The roster that is Japanese wrestling right now is not intriguing to me. We're gonna bring it up at Wrestle Kingdom, and I'll make my point then. But I think that's what makes me not want to continue to watch Japanese wrestling, and we'll get there. But big. This is big, and I got some stills for it before we get to the video. Charlie Dempsey in NXT, a WWE, a World Wrestling Entertainment contracted wrestler, right? I'm not gonna say an NXT wrestler because that's just a brand. The guy has a contract. The checks say WWE World Wrestling Entertainment. Wrestled for a Japanese promotion while still under contract. Now, how many times has that happened, Vern? Do you know?
Recently, who else do we have? We had Shinsuke wrestled Muda.
Yep. And he said Muda said some wild stuff. He said some wild stuff.
Correct. Nothing came of that.
Yeah, crazy. Go figure. Different culture.
We had Mickey James. We had Mickey James come out.
Mickey James. Yeah, Mickey James.
There.
Mickey James, I would say, is the original door kicker of the Forbidden Door.
Well,
for the E.
Wouldn't we say it was Taz wrestling at ECW for the ECW belt when he beat Mike Austin?
Against a WCW wrestler?
A WCW wrestler to win an ECW belt. So technically, that's the very first time the WWF beat WCW, and it was for a world title.
So that was a favor to Paul because of the situation. Sure,
and to get the belt off Mike Austin.
You have to get the belt off Mike Austin.
Weed. Yeah, super weird. Right. Excuse me.
So I get you.
So I mean, I can think of examples of it, but yes, but it's been a long time. It's very rare. Point being, it's very rare, doesn't happen often, and the thought
so the door was closed, and let's say Mickey opened it again recently.
Yes, Mickey would probably be the first person in recent history that was like the first, like, wow.
So we got Charlie Dempsey here in Japan, Vern. He did 3 nights. I got the pictures here.
Jushin Liger wrestled.
Liger's still going?
No, what's his name? Who did he wrestle? The Prince Pretty. What's his face?
Tyler Breeze.
Tyler Breeze. Tyler Bate.
That was the Japan Super Show.
Yep.
Yes.
No,
with Finn. No,
I thought he wrestled that was here in the States. That was in Japan.
Hold on. You might be right. I think
I thought that was Tim Liger was in the States.
That was Takeover Brooklyn. You are correct. Takeover Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Takeover Brooklyn. I'm sorry. I'm confusing the two shows.
Nope. All good.
Okay. So, like I said, he worked 3 nights. He had 2 tag matches. One was against Fujinami and Leona.
Bro, Fujinami. Let's go. Tatsumi Fujinami still working.
That has to be because of his dad. Like, yo, oh, you're Regal's kid? Oh, you're Regal's kid. Oh, okay. I remember Regal.
Tatsumi Fujinami.
Like, Fujinami, bro.
A living legend of the business.
Then he worked. Amazing. Oh man, it's a little blurry down there. I don't want to mess up their names. The champ, if I'm not mistaken, right, is Suzuki, or is it Nakajima? Nakajima is the champion.
Yeah, Nakajima's the guy.
Yeah. And then Hideki Suzuki, and then he worked, Nakajima in his final show
for the Triple Crown.
For the Triple Crown Championship, which is their top title, right?
Yep.
A real Triple Crown. We'll get to that in a little bit. So yeah, let me again, just like we played their entrance. Well, forgot to do that part. Just like we played Great Sakuya's entrance, or Sakuya.
Yeah.
We got Charlie Dempsey here. Let's give me a live reaction version.
Give me a live reaction, man. He is coming out. He's got on just a straight trainer jacket.
Old school,
Dempsey
bro.
On the back,
brother.
Black with a pair of green boots, red trunks with green trimming to match the boots. Looking like a classic, just old school British wrestler, man.
Vern. Okay, this shot right here. Vern. What year is it?
Oh, this is this is the Funk Brothers. I'm waiting to see
1984, right?
I'm waiting to see freaking Bruiser Brody kicking people through the crowd as he's swinging the chain, coming through the crowd. Yeah.
The look, the ring, the old school red corner, blue corner.
Yeah.
With the neutral corners, the blue canvas.
I appreciated him coming through the short entrance, just a short entrance right to the ring, and we're gonna get
right. He didn't slap thighs. He didn't pop anybody. He's here to wrestle. This reminds me. What I see right here, it looks like I'm watching something from the 80s. Yep. Like you went, yo, put this on real quick. Type this link.
This like we're watching the real world tag league matches.
Right. Yep. And that's why I'm like, I can't, like, wow. Like it looks like he looks great.
This could have been, you could have told me this was 84, 85. And
I believe you. Yeah. Even the quality of the camera. I don't know if it's because of our feet.
It has that grainy look to it, right?
Yes. Yes.
It doesn't look like super HD. That's like when you watch Noah. Noah always looks super HD. It always looks so weird sometimes. Yeah. It's almost like the wrestling looks too crisp. Like it looks too...
Is this not this isn't Korakuen Hall? They didn't have this in Korakuen Hall here?
But actually, you're right. You think it's Korakuen Hall. Okay.
I'm gonna look it up. They had that show on 1-3, right?
Yes, sir.
New Year Giant, it's called. New Year Giant. I'm just looking it up while I don't want to go too far now. All right, there's another entrance, and then that's enough. I don't want.
There he is. Look at that shaved head.
Shaved head, right? We'll let that go while I'm looking.
With the Snoopy bathrobe on. Damn, what am I missing?
What is going on, bro? There's gonna be a Wikipedia for this, I hope, right? New Year Giant. I just want to know the
what's
arena.
What's with the bathrobe?
He definitely is just rocking a bathrobe with a towel over it.
And he's doing
Tokyo. Yo, listen. If there's one thing I can see the major buildings of Japan when I see them.
Recognize them.
I can still recognize. This is where they do New Year's Dash. Korakuen Hall. Yeah, Korakuen Hall. They had 1008 in there. Shout out Cage Match. Shout out Cage Match.
Not shout out Cage Match.
Oh, that was night 1. They had 2 nights of this.
It says Strong Style, I'm guessing.
1000.
It's got Snoopy on the front. I'm so confused by this guy's.
He definitely bought that Walmart at the Japanese equivalent of Walmart.
He customed.
And he got it embroidered.
All right.
We're gonna stop it here. They had 1300 in there, just to let you know on that
fun match. You should watch it if you're a fan of that old school style of wrestling of like 2 guys actually going at it, aggressive. Yeah. This is a good one to watch.
So I'm a big fan. Flying. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nope. Go ahead. Does it say not much high flying, a lot of ground and pound,
grappling?
It's aggressive. It's aggressive, right? So like it looks like they're trying to win.
Is it physical? Can you feel the strike?
There it is. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. It's physical. It's a very physical, raw match.
I went to a Beyond Wrestling show. This just reminded me. That's why I did this. So back when Beyond was like Beyond, when Beyond was Beyond Wrestling, Drew Cordero, Denver, Colorado, did a very good job of putting a lot of variety in his shows. You can go to a Beyond show and you can get a women's match, and then you'll get a hardcore tag team match, and then you'll get a traditional professional wrestling match. He'll give you some comedy, then he'll give you a grappling match. The one time we went to the Beyond show, it was Drew Gulak versus Biff Busick, and they just had a grappling extravaganza. But the thing that drew the people in was the physicality. Yes, they rolled around and they grappled and they did a lot of cool different holds. But when they hit, Vern, every time. Biff was on all fours one point. I hope it's on the internet somewhere. People can see this. Drew just gave him a stiff stomp to the back. And it wasn't like worker stomp. It was leg up. I was like, ooh. And I was in the balcony. And I'm like, ooh, I felt that one. That's what drew the people in because of how hard they hit. That's why I asked that question. I said, grappling, we can grapple all night. But when we start hitting, we got to start hitting. Because that's
you know what? It's probably not. You said that. I'll probably find it on IWTV. I'll see if I check that out.
Please. But man, if I can give you a year, I'm going to say I was still working then. So this was probably 15, 16, 17 in that time frame.
Yeah, they got all even I'm on the Beyond shows on IWTV.
Yeah, okay. So if they have all those, then it should be there.
All the way to the beginning.
I'm going to say it was around the time they have the Tournament for Tomorrow or American Rana, one of those old school.
I'll find it.
Because American Rana was like his mania. But oh my God, he farted again. Bro, it's in waves. It's awful. I'm just not going to say anything. We're just going to keep going. All right, let's finish off Japan, shall we?
Please.
And then move on. We'll go back to America. We're almost done, bro. We're almost done. Yeah, it's wild.
Hey, as we said,
I love these shows. Yeah.
Yeah. We may not go the usual 2 hours anymore, friends.
Right.
That's all right.
All right. I mean, like I said, we're transitioning. This is how it feels when we're transitioning. Speaking of transitioning, you need to watch Dave Chappelle's latest comedy special. He has a few jokes about trans people. Only 3 to 4. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Not in bad taste. It's just funny. He does a lot of full circle in this last special.
Yeah, I saw the one that Shay posted. That I thought that was a real smart joke.
That's the first one.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm not going to attack them because they came after me, but I got 3 or 4 more. And he literally had 3 or 4 more. I promise you. I stopped counting, but I was like, he was accurate. So, all right, let's talk Wrestle Kingdom 18. I should have been quick and got a graphic for this. Let's see if I can be quick about it. That looks good enough. And boom, Wrestle Kingdom 18. Boom. Talk to me nice. Are you looking at the card, Vern, while I'm doing this?
Yeah, shaking my head as I'm.
I see. In the corner. So I'm looking here, and in the corner of my eye, like this is my peripheral. I just see you like this. I just see a head shaking. I'm like, damn. I was like, that's not a good thing.
I'm looking at this card. I'm like, why?
Okay. So remember what I said to you. Something about, all right, I got it up here. It's blurry, but these are a lot of the guys that are on the card that we're going to see. Except I don't see Bryan Danielson. You would think they'd put Bryan Danielson on the cover, right?
No.
Because he's on the card. So this was my gripe. This is why I said I have a gripe with New Japan, because I feel like this roster doesn't pull me in like it was several years ago. So I'm just going to read off the show. All in all, if you got a comment you want to make real quick, sure. If not, I'm just going to run through the card real quick.
Sure. Go ahead.
So as you know, they always start all Wrestle Kingdoms, and literally Wrestle Kingdom, the pre-show
is about to start.
I'm about to say it's probably loading up in a few hours. So by the time me and you are done, I'll probably be watching Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
It starts off with the New Japan Ranbo. That's Rumble, if you didn't know. Ranbo.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's shoot, what is the name of that? There's a word for how the Japanese translate.
English.
Is that the real name? I thought English was.
Is it? I thought
English was high key racist.
Oh, my bad. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, then I
think.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So when you look up, I'm gonna look up Yuya Uemura's name just for this example. Nope, that won't help. I'm gonna look up professional wrestling in Japan, and then it's gonna show me that word Puro Rezaringu, which is our English word of professional wrestling, but there's a different way. There's a different word for what they call it. It's gonna piss me off if I don't look it up. So I have to.
Oh no, I just looked up the word English. Chill.
You just looked up the word English.
It's a slang term for general misuse of English language by Asian natives.
It's gonna piss me off if I don't. Predominant style. English speaking to fans. Yeah, it's not. It's the word I'm trying to find is not going to be there. But what's gonna anger me is we're gonna get off the phone. Listen to me like it's the 90s. We're gonna get off of here, and I'm gonna remember. It's gonna piss me off. But anyway, let's move on. I was looking at this card, Vern, and I'm just like, the guy's here. There's nothing intriguing. So I'll read the card. We start off with the Rainbow. Participants to be determined. It's like a 45-minute Rumble.
It's just going to be re-debuting guys.
Or super indie. Who will be in it? Toriano's going to have some spot in it where he's acting a fool every show. Muda will probably be in it or somebody else.
No, Muda's retired. Kenji Muda.
Muda's not going to wrestle at all no more. Okay.
No.
Usually there's some legend in it. Usually there's some like legends.
Yeah, it'll be like Mr. New Japan, Captain New Japan will be in it. Tiger Mask 4 will be in it. Yeah. All those kind of guys will be there.
All right, let me run through this now. This is the main show. Tag team match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. Bullet Club War Dogs, which consists of Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney. They're the champions. Will take on Catch 22 or Catch 2 of 2. That says 2 of 2.
2-2.
Sure. That's TJP and Francisco Akira. Is that Akira? No, that's a different guy.
Not Deathmatch Akira.
This is an Italian guy.
Yep.
Yeah, not Masha Slamovich's boyfriend or whatever.
Yep, husband. I think they got married. Husband.
Yeah, this guy's a chiseled Adonis over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we got a singles match for the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Championship. We have champion Zack Sabre Jr. taking on President Hiroshi Tanahashi. Then we got a singles match.
My comment to that match is why? Who in the right mind? I love that the Japanese still respect their elder statesmen of wrestlers, but in 2024, who in their right mind is clamoring for Tanahashi to still wrestle matches at this point?
He's 47, but he moves like he's 67. Those knees
that's
are done.
The thing. That's the thing done. Is like I thought you were about to say, but I would say Vern, but I was like, but bro.
Oh, you thought I was going to disagree? See, here's here's the problem with our show. You say something and it's right, so I have to agree. I'm not that guy that's going to be no, for argument's sake. Hell no.
Yeah,
he has no business.
I enjoyed Tanahashi in 2013.
I enjoyed Tanahashi even in 2016, but when I saw him come out, AEW has ruined some of these Japanese wrestlers for me.
Oh man, when Tanahashi could barely jump to the top rope.
When he worked MJF and MJF was making fun of his knees and the guitar, brother, those knees were always bowed. But now I can shoot an arrow through both of them.
Yeah,
and with the string attached to his butt crack.
Correct. I'm sorry. I don't know in what world anybody's clamoring for Tanahashi. And I understand Japanese culture with the age, and they don't care. And like,
look at
Tatsumi Fujinami on the card, and he's still
right. We were just putting Fujinami over, and now we're
correct.
Well, Fujinami can still move around. So could like a guy like who's my guy? He does the arm bar with the come on, help me.
God,
Yuji Nagata. Yuji Nagata.
Yeah,
can still go at this to this day, right? He can. Tanahashi's body has defeated him. His body has given up on him,
which is crazy considering the styles that they worked, right? But Tanahashi had that spot where he's jumping off the top, doing multiple frog splashes,
high five flow, all that stuff, landing on your knees,
jumping from the inside of the ring to the outside on the floor. Yeah, his knees are shot.
You're doing it to yourself. Self-mutilation, Vern. Let's move on.
Anyway,
Yota Tsuji. Part of Los Ingobernables. I feel like he had a different name. Was he just Yota at one point? Maybe. Or maybe I'm thinking of Shota. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Versus Yuya Uemura. Yuya Uemura, I think, has had an AEW stint, if I'm not mistaken. He had an excursion to Impact. He was on Impact. He was that random Asian X Division guy.
Yuya Uemura. He was.
Yep. Then we've got a tag team match of Shota Umino and Kaito Kiyomiya. Kiyomiya. I'm gonna go with. That's not. These guys aren't Sho and Yo, right? No, right? The ones that were Roppongi. That's not these guys.
I don't know who this. No, this dude's from. The second guy is from Noah.
So whatever happened to? Oh, they were like Roppongi 3K now, but they were called Sho and Yo. There were also the Tempura Boys in Ring of Honor. I don't know if you remember that. When they did their excursion. That's not their names anymore. They're Reijin and Fujin. Oh, they work. No, that was in CMLL. They're showing Yo. They are okay. They're just showing Yo as a tag team. Okay, so I was just confusing them like a good racialist. Singles match, never open weight championship. Isn't that the belt?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's New Japan
Carl
Strong
Anderson.
Style.
That's the one that Carl Anderson had when he went to the.
Oh yeah, when he broke the forbidden door. Oh wow, that's right. We forgot about that one.
They're another tag team that did it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Shingo Takagi versus Tama Tonga. I love me some Tama Tonga. He's by himself. I just realized that. Where's Loa?
You'll see.
Okay. And then we've
Loa's hurt. I think Loa's hurt.
Okay. We've got a winner takes all tag team match for the IWGP Tag Team Champion and Strong Openweight Tag Team Championship. Bishamon, which is Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, taking on the Gorillas of Destiny, which are Hikuleo and El Fantasmo. Yeah. Moving on, we got an IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Hiromu Takahashi taking on, I feel like he's been in the Junior Heavyweight title contention. He's like every year for like the past 4 years.
He had that thing where he messed up his back and he was out for like a year and change. Remember?
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Every time I watch Wrestle Kingdom, he's in the Junior Heavyweight title match.
He's that dude. He's that dude, but he got hurt for a minute, and
right.
I feel like that's what's like he hasn't progressed beyond this place.
Okay, he's taking on El Desperado. And then we've got a 3-way match for the inaugural IWGP. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. A 3-way match for the inaugural IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Is that the title? Wait a minute. Wait. Okay.
The IWGP US Heavyweight Championship and now the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, they're just changing.
I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna wait till I read it all.
They're just changing the first word.
So that's Ospreay, Moxley, and Finlay. Then it's Okada versus Danielson, and then we've got. I actually want to see this Sonata versus Naito because they used to be in the same faction years ago. I love Naito. I love Sonata. So I'm hoping main event it'll go off. They're gonna go 45, something ridiculous. That's the only match that caught my attention, seeing Sonata and Naito, because Sonata's been a long time coming. I watched Sonata on TNA during his excursion, and they have no idea what to do with him. To see him as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, I'd love to watch him. I think this is his first Wrestle Kingdom he's headlining. Am I bugging? He didn't headline last year's, did he?
I don't think so. I didn't watch. I stopped watching
Wrestle Kingdom. I didn't watch last year. No, it was 2 nights.
Yep.
Remember, the first night was the 4th, and then the next night was like 3 weeks later. So the night that mattered, because the other night was like the Noah night or something. Remember? We covered it, if I'm not mistaken. You were like, "Why are we doing this?" You were like, "Why are we doing this?" I was like, "Because we have to."
Yeah.
It was Okada and Jay White last year, so I think this is Sonata's first shot at main eventing Wrestle Kingdom. So I'd like to see how he performs.
Yeah, well, this is post a loss. A lot of guys. I forgot about that. This roster,
you got to remember that.
Yeah,
lost a lot of people because remember, Brov. Okada, not Okada. Ospreay's got to finish up Brov.
Yeah.
So I mean, Finley's got to win that belt in that match, right? Because you're not going to put it on Moxley, right? Right?
I think Moxley has a no lose clause in his contract, so we'll see.
Am I bleeding?
Yeah, right. That's so
Am I open? Wait. All right. So Vern, this is my problem with this card.
Oh,
I don't care enough. Granted, I don't watch Japanese wrestling like that, but even the last few years, I haven't really watched Japanese wrestling hardcore like I used to. But I still went out of my way to be like, yo, I'm gonna watch Wrestle Kingdom. The only reason why I'm gonna watch it is because I'm gonna be awake at this time.
Oh.
And that's the only reason why this time around. But I'm like, the Rambo is at this point is just a cluster. It's just a cluster.
Yeah.
You know what? The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team division hasn't mattered since the Bucks left. Every other,
I would dare argue it hasn't mattered before that, but go ahead.
Sure. The World Television Championship, sure, whatever. Okay. Here's my gripe with them. It's very AEW. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 championships. 2 of them are the exact same belt, Vern, which is why I held my comment. 2 of them are the exact same belt. What's another word for the world?
Oh, no, makes a difference, man. Chill. Don't say it. Don't say it.
What's another word
Don't bring your stupid logic into
into
the
a
world of pro
illogical
wrestling. All right,
into
into
a
the world
world
of
of
pro wrestling.
illogical things, right?
Thank you. Don't
But
bring your
another
stupid
word for the
logic.
world, Vern,
It's
is a globe.
global. Yeah.
It's just a globe. If you are the champion of the globe, you are the champion of the world.
If we're being honest, this is going back to like the old territory days of like Nick Goulis, right?
Southern states,
time to make up a title. This is the southern mid state, the southern northwest
mid-southern
eastern
Texas Western State alumni
brass knucks
championship.
champion, the blah blah blah. Yeah, we're just gonna start putting words together, and
Oh.
this is the title. Yeah.
So I'm gonna do something, Vern.
Shoot.
Do you have before I do that? Do you have anything to say about this card? Wrestle Kingdom 18.
Overall, I'll say this: where New Japan lost me is that the workers, the characters, the stories. Even when you watch it with the commentary, the English commentary, the stories aren't there for me. Like I'm not seeing the overarching. There's a Shinsuke Nakamura who is climbing the ranks match after match, throwing these right. Like even the Jay Whites, there's not this promo after the show that he's going to talk and set it all up. Like,
Yeah,
I think that's what's been missing is just for a while, IWGP, New Japan is just they've not drawn me back in. There's no talent on this card that I'm like, wow, that's a guy to watch. That's a guy to really look out for story. Nope.
I think the issue is I'm not trying to blame it on these guys, but I think the blending in with AEW.
Yeah.
I think because we have such a bad taste in our mouth from AEW. No. So now we're starting to see these Japanese guys come to work at AEW, and then
they suck.
And it's a piss poor performance of right. It's a piss poor performance of what we normally see. Excuse me, what we normally see from them, and it kind of like leaves another even poorer taste in our mouth.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the issue lies. Because
I've not forgot about Shingo and the Phantom choke slam through off the apron. Remember that with Trent, where Shingo just went like this, put his hand on his neck, and Trent decided to jump up and throw himself to the
leave
table?
himself. Yes. So here's another thing. The past few Wrestle Kingdoms, when I was really watching, lots of gaijins that I was interested in. Oh. Lots of gaijins. Clark Connors, Zack Sabre Jr., Hikuleo.
Well, technically, Hikuleo's Samoan, not really gaijin.
He's a gaijin. He's a foreigner. Gaijin is a foreigner. You're not Japanese.
You're right.
You're not Japanese. You're a gaijin.
In my mind, I would have taken a gaijin as an American, but you're right.
Right. Ospreay, Moxley, Finley. That is the gaijin match. They're all gaijins. Danielson. Didn't we see Okada and Danielson already? We saw that Forbidden Door. We saw the movie already. He broke his arm.
When he landed on it.
So we're going to just see that in Japan. Maybe it'll hit off better in Japan.
Okay.
Because I'll give this. Because Danielson can work that style. He has. I feel like maybe it'll work better in Japan. Maybe.
I appreciate you being optimistic.
I want to be because I'm literally going to be watching this in 2 hours. Granted, I'll probably be waking up and seeing the main event at like 6, 7 in the morning.
Sure.
But it's just this show doesn't make me go, damn, I got to watch this. There's usually one match on a Wrestle Kingdom that made you go, I got to see this. When like Omega was in his prime, Omega Okada, you had to watch that match. 40 some odd minutes of these guys doing ridiculous stuff. You had to.
You know what? I think that's a good point, Frank. It's that there's no New Japan doesn't have their heavyweight champ. Look, Evil wasn't it.
He never
Shingo wasn't it.
Nope.
Sonata's had so far has had a very subpar title run. So
the only time I've seen Sonata champion was when he worked Jack Perry at Forbidden Door.
Okay. And I feel like that sums up
match,
Sonata's run.
Remember that match? Sonata, I'll be honest, Sonata seemed completely uninterested in that match. And I would be too. I'd feel disrespected if I'm the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, which in my side of the pond, I'm the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, and you put me in a match with some kid who barely has a story. and it's not even on TV now. If I'm even Sonata in the promo was like, this kid's not worthy of working me.
Yeah.
There was huge spitting facts. So it's I don't know. I want this to be good. I don't want to turn this on and be like, skip. I hate that. I don't want to skip it. I want to watch. But it might just be background noise until Sonata and Naya will come out.
I hear you.
All right, so we're gonna come back, brother. We're coming back across the pond. Let's head to World's End. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, this is all you though, because you watched it. I didn't watch the show.
When you say watch,
well, I will say this. I only know about World's End based off of what I've read in the media. I didn't spend a second on the show.
So like I said, when you say watch,
take it away, my friend.
Does it count if watch is what I'm doing right now, which is like glancing at my television? Okay. All right. I'm going to talk about what I watched.
Talk the experience. Yeah, man. What's the experience like? Tell us.
All right. I'm going to do what we always do. When we review cards. AEW World's End was live December 30th, 2023 in Uniondale, New York at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. It had an attendance of 10,093. Me and the brother were watching it, and we were like, there's got to be at least 10,000 in there. So total attendance shows 10,093 because the crowd looked pretty packed, and it's the Coliseum. The Coliseum, every seat's above each other, you know? So it looked good on television. We had, I think when we previewed it, Vern, we were at 9 matches, or maybe 6 or 7. I don't remember. Winded up with 13. Okay.
Well, technically, you ended up with more if you count the preliminary matches.
I am.
Is it? That's only 13?
13. Are you
okay,
shocked?
Okay. Yeah.
It was only 10 main card. Let me tell you a funny story. Let me tell you a funny story before I go into this. So the brother was here. The big bro was here. Shout out Big Boss Man. He was here for New Year's. So World's End was that Saturday, and we're what's the word? We're partaking. It's a good word to call it. Mm-hmm. We're partaking, watching World's End. We're outside in the car, right? And we're watching it, and match. I think it's Swerve, because I remember I was swerving in my car when I was doing it. Swerve versus Dustin, and we were like, man, what a throwaway, because this was not even supposed to be the match. And I was like, this is nonsense. They should have just not had a match at all, but whatever. So then that match happened, that 8-man tag team, the LaSex Gods against the Don Callis family. And I had to remind my big bro about who Don Callis was. Because he's looking at me, he's like, who the hell is this guy? I was like, you remember the Truth Commission? Yeah. I was like, do you remember Cyrus the Virus? And I'm remind me of the Jesus thing, please. Please. I know it's stuck. I know it's stuck up your crawl, but please remind me of that Jesus thing in the entrance, okay? For the Callis family when we get to this match, this card later.
Okay.
I finished that match, and it was 10 o'clock. That match finished. My brother's like, oh, my God, that was awful. And I said, well, you know what? We're just getting started. There's at least 2 more hours of wrestling. He goes, nah, there's no way. There's no way there's 2 more hours. He's like, it's 10 o'clock. I was like, so? He's like, it's 10 o'clock. There's no way. Nah, they're going to be done like 11. I said, okay. I was like, all right. I came back inside. I popped the card up, and I said, so how many more matches do you think are left? And it was Julia Hart versus Abaddon at that point. He goes, I don't know, maybe like 2, maybe 2, 3 more. I said, sir, there's 4 more matches, and it's 10:30. That's what I told him. I said, there's 4 more matches at 10:30. He's like, Jesus Christ. I also had fun trying to explain the Continental Classic to him. So my brother's, he might as well be lapsed, right?
Yeah.
So explaining the Continental Classic to him, I was getting frustrated with myself trying to explain the Continental Classic. Because once I got to the point where I was like, well, he's going to become a Triple Crown champion for a belt that has never existed. I was like, are they going to make another belt to make him a Triple Crown champion for a belt that's never existed?
Yes.
Because right now he's only carrying the 3 belts, right? Or did he come out with the new belt?
Well, that's it. No, the 3 belts are the Triple Crown. You have to have all 3 titles to be the Triple Crown champ.
Okay. I'm going to read off the card because just talking about that part pisses me off because it was such nonsense. Willow Nightingale, thicker than a pillow Willow, defeated Chris Statlander by pinfall in the first pre-show match. Killswitch won the 20-man Battle Royal for a future AEW TNT Championship match. Killswitch is Luchasaurus, if you don't know that. I know you've been lapsed, so he changed his name to Killswitch. He last this real quick because I'm not going to go back to this. They missed the chance to have something special with Danhausen. You hear what I'm saying?
You know what I just realized? I did watch this. I watched the opening. That's what I did. Remember,
I watched
yeah. I watched the pre-show and I shut it off.
I think you checked out at Miro. I think you checked out at Miro.
No, I checked out at Hook.
Hook, that was the next pre-show.
That's why I checked out at Hook. Because my stream,
you didn't even give it till 8 o'clock.
The stream I was on died, and I said, "Okay, that's it. My sign."
Was your stream's audio off from the video?
Yes, something like
that. The whole pre-show. I don't know if it was YouTube or something, but my audio was off. My
YouTube was fine. My YouTube was fine, but but something happened that my YouTube either cut out or I don't know.
You were like, I'm all set.
Yeah, and I just went, you know what's a sign? I'm good. I'm out.
Okay. So like I was saying here, they missed the chance to do something special with Danhausen.
Yes.
Because Danhausen eliminated, I think, Lance Archer, right? And the crowd lost it. Now, as much as I talk smack about the AEW crowd, when they love something, they love something. I'll give them that. They are dedicated and they love it to a T. So I said to myself, man, it should have been Kill Switch and Danhausen. I understand Danhausen's a babyface and you're trying to make Kill Switch a babyface, so it doesn't make sense, but it's a battle royal. It's every man for themselves.
Wait, you're not
for that moment,
babyface. Kill Switch is a heel.
I'm sorry, I ruined it for you.
Yeah, I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I'll get there. I'll get there. I'm sorry, but I'll get there. It's a headache. It's a headache every time I try to explain this AEW to people. I'm telling you, sitting there telling my brother because he'd ask a question and then I have to explain the story from what I knew. I was getting headaches. I was getting headaches trying to explain this stuff. So anyway, Hook defeated Wheeler Yuta for the FTW Championship by FTW rules. I didn't see a lick of that match. To start off the show,
matter of fact, yes, you did. You didn't hear the cringy promo when this guy walked out and said, the hockey team in this town is subpar.
Who said that? Paul Gruber?
Yes.
Superhuman?
Yes.
I wasn't listening.
Bro.
When he comes on my screen, I'm all set. I'm all set with Wheeler Yuta.
That's what made me shut it off. Wheeler Yuta's promo.
You were like, click.
That's
Wheeler
Yuta
is X-Pac at this point.
Wheeler Yuta legit said, your team is subpar. Oh, is Hook gonna come out here and try to fight me?
The Long Island Islanders?
Are you guys kidding me?
So he went that route.
And then they played the horn that the Long Islanders play when they get a goal. They played the horn. That's how they shut them up.
It's the horn when you score a goal. I didn't see any of that.
That was it. And then Hook came out with Islanders colored gear.
I think I didn't see any of that because I came in when it was Miro and Idolo. I think that's why. I think that's why.
That was it.
I didn't see. I seen this match.
Right.
I saw the 8-man. I think I came in very late into the pre. I saw Kill Switch. It was Wheeler Yuta. I was all set. I'm all set. Wheeler Yuta comes on my screen? No. Because first of all, he's the Ring of Honor pure champion. So his matches are pure matches. You know how I feel about pure matches. I'd be all set with those. I'm not watching Superhuman work pre-show match. I'm not watching Paul Gruber work those matches, bro. Right. So I turned them off. So anyway, Blackpool Combat Club in the 8-man tag match, which was Claudio and Brian Danielson, Mark Briscoe and Daniel Garcia defeating Brody King, Jay White, Jay Lethal, and Roosh, guys that were in the Continental Classic. Super indie tag match. This was all right. I got indie guys for 2 nights. I paid them a lot of money, and I got to book them for the next night when they get eliminated on night 1 for my tournament. Throw them in all the match together. Super Chikara. That match was Chikara. King of Trios night 2 or night 3. I promise you. Where the guys are still there, but they're not in the tournament anymore, so we just throw them in a trios match or an 8-man. That's or Cybernetico. That's exactly what this nonsense was.
Gotcha.
Throwaway match. It went 18 minutes. Why? Why does it need to go that long? An 8-man tag. No need. Moving on. Miro defeated Andrade. I watched that match. I love both these dudes are physical as hell. It was Andrade's last match. He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
El Idolo is gone. He's coming back to the E, brother.
That's
CMLL.
All signs point going home.
With Charlotte there? CMLL? Triple A?
Nope. I think he's coming home to the Fed.
No more La Sombra?
No more La Sombra. La Sombra is definitely done here.
Wow. Okay. All right. I can't wait to see. Timeless Tony Storm defeated Rio by pinfall for the AEW Women's World Championship. The one thing I liked about Timeless Toni Storm that night was her gear. She wore the old school ladies one strap singlet with the big trunks on the bottom. I loved it. It said Timeless on her back. Loved it. The only thing I liked about it. Swerve squashed Dustin Rhodes in 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
It's not a squash if it took 9 minutes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying it that way. It was a glorified squash.
Yeah, that's not a squash.
Shouldn't have happened.
Squash.
Keith Lee couldn't show up. We didn't need this match. But I guess Tony's paying everybody to be there, so I gotta get it in the ring.
So Tony figured he'd finally finish the story between Keith Lee and Swerve 9 months later after no build back up.
So does that not tell you that was a bad idea? That's karma, no? Bring it back to do something that the reason why they had a feud was they were a tag team like 2 years ago now at this point. I feel like the Acclaimed haven't been tag team champions for 2 years already. Like when we started this podcast, yep. What episode is Scissor Me? Because that's when they won the belts, right?
Yeah.
What episode is Scissor Me? Episode 16, Vern. That was almost a year and some change ago. 60 some odd weeks, bro. That's why I love having all of that, because I could just go back and just do some math real quick.
Mm.
And that's when that started. So now with no builds, now we're going to finish the feud with just a one-match blow-off. I don't get it. Moving on. Les Sex Gods, Jericho and Guevara. Hey, they're friends again. Did you sim too far in your universe mode?
Yeah, I just saw the picture of it, and
yeah, they're friends again. Sting and Darby Allin, who have never lost a tag team match.
I know that.
And have never competed for the tag team titles.
Correct.
But records matter. Records matter, Vern. They take on the Don Callis family. Takeshita, Powerhouse Hobbs, Big Bill, and Ricky Starks, who are the tag team champions. Something tells me, by the way, Les Sex Gods and Sting and Darby Allin won. Something tells me Sting and Darby Allin will be winning the tag team titles from Big Bill and Ricky Starks. Did you not see any of this match? None of it. You didn't watch any of it? I'm talking to you.
Why would you ask me?
Sting.
I didn't watch any of this.
Vern. Sting has no business in there, brother. It's getting close to like Flair's last match. Flair,
really?
Like Sting doesn't even bump. Sting will give you one. So far,
okay.
Sting's till what? March, April, and then he's good.
Yep,
right?
I think so.
3 more months. 3 more months. That's all I'm gonna say. 3 more months.
And they've sold apparently like they've almost sold the place out too.
Where are they going to be at again?
North Carolina.
Yeah, I think so. But that's why Flair and all that.
Greensboro, yeah.
Greensboro Coliseum, probably. Okay. Julia Hart beat Abaddon, who's never on TV, in a house rules match for the TBS Championship. It was Abaddon's stipulation. Do you want to know what the stipulation was, Vern?
No,
you don't, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Biting is legal. That was the plot. That's what drove the story between Julia Hart and Abaddon.
Oh, because Abaddon's a zombie?
Dude, it's the nuance. I'm just trying to trigger you.
Right.
No disqualification match for the AEW TNT Championship. Adam Copeland defeated Christian Cage in probably what was the funniest match I've watched in a long time. That's the match I watched in full because I was like, I feel like they're going to give us a lot of gaga. And they did. Nick Wayne should have died that night. He should have lit on fire.
That I saw.
Did you? Okay, so they lit it on fire and it immediately burnt out because they're not using lighter fluid. They're really using like starting fluid. Yeah. So all that does, or like not starting fluid, or not lighting fluid. I can't remember. Not charcoal either, because charcoal is lighter fluid. That stuff, it's supposed to stick on charcoal, and then the charcoal starts burning. It's only just so you can get this fire going quick. But these guys were squeezing bottle after bottle after bottle. They lit it up the first time, yeah. By the time they cut back, it was off. So now Edge is like, I don't know what took longer. Finn Balor's head to get stitched, so Edge had to improvise, or Edge trying to light that table back on fire. I think lighting it back on fire took longer, bro.
Wow.
Because he's squeezing more bottles, and then he can't find the lighter. It's one of those like grill lighters. Finds it. Now he can't flick it on. He lights it finally. Immediately grab Nick Wayne, overshoots the powerbomb.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick Wayne pulls and rides in pain.
When you saw the fire, had Nick Wayne taken that table bump, he would have been lit on fire.
No, he wouldn't have.
It would such a stupid bump. It would have went
poof like it was supposed to. It was a stupid spot. It didn't work. It was hilarious. Good comedy. It was a very comedic match.
Talk to me about the finish.
Edge goes over. This is why I say Kill Switch is becoming a base. Kill Switch comes out, wants to cash in his contract immediately for the TNT title. And I said, oh, wow, this is how they're going to take the belt off Edge immediately. And then Christian goes, give it here. Give it to me. And, the lovable giant. Oh, shucks. The lovable giant is so reluctant to give it to him. But then, he says, bananas on your pancakes or strawberries tonight in his ear. And he goes, bananas. And he hands him this contract and he cashes it in. And he hits Edge with something. I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. And he covers him. And Christian Cage is still your TNT champion. It was an 11-second match after they went 25 minutes.
Man, that is a total what's his face booked that? Jeff Jarrett booked that.
So I said
a TNA special from the early Asylum days.
So I said, Vern, why couldn't they milk that? Why couldn't that happen today? Well, yesterday
busy.
Now.
What a busy finish.
A busy finish. Because it was like, oh, snap, Edge won. And they took it away from you immediately at the wrong time. It's always good to do that in wrestling. I give that, take it away from you. Not yet. I'm not going to give it to you yet. That's wrestling, right? Give, take it away. Nope. You're not going to have it like when I tell you have, right? But this, it might have been. I don't know how AEW writes. Logically, this was the blow off. Logically. And you screwed the babyface in a way that he can't get it back. He can't get it back. Right? You gave him the win, and then you buried him in 11 seconds. You buried him deep that way. You can't, there's nothing you can do there. Because it's like, why'd you go through all that? Give him the win. Have him show up on Dynamite as champion. Give the people, right? What I said, give. Give them what they want. Oh my God, Edge is in AEW. He's already a champion. This is great. Here comes Kill Switch. Cash in that contract. Here comes Christian doing the heel work. And now he's your TNT champion again. Give it some space to breathe. It was champion, Kill Switch, new champion. It was like, oh, y'all flubbed that. I said you could have just waited. That was my big gripe with that. The match was fine. It was what it was. Like I said, it was Gaga. It was Edge versus Christian. Finish sucked.
Table 25 minutes.
It was 25 minutes long.
Too long.
I told my brother, I said they're going to go half an hour. They went the longest, 25 minutes.
Too long.
Eddie Kingston and John Moxley for the Continental Classic was a Wish app Temu G1 Climax championship match.
Oh, I saw we're going to stand in front of each other and just let each other hit each other stuff. Immediately
come on. Yeah, once I saw that, I went back to doing what I was doing. I think I was downloading games for my emulators. Yeah, I was cool on that match. They went 17. Once I saw the final, I said it's Kingston going over. So
I hate matches like that because that match was telegraphed. When Kingston did the promo, that I did see that, right? The promo that was on Reddit where he said
he's never beat Mox or something?
I'm putting the ROH and the NJPW Strong title on. He goes, if I make it to the finals, I'm putting these well, he said he was going to put them on. He was going to put him on the line every match he was in, and then he backtracked.
But then they redacted that. We talked about that last time. They redacted
on it, and then here that he put it on the line in the main event was like, but you where were you? You were guaranteed a main event spot?
Something tells me they didn't think it through. Because they were like, oh, he'll defend it every time. But then he was like, oh, crap, he's got to lose to make this work. and let's just retcon it. No, he never said that. He never said that. He meant at the end. Yeah.
Correct. So this was kind of stupid in that sense. And so
here's my take on the Continental Classic. We spent over a month to just get to Kingston and Moxley for a new belt.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we did.
Yeah.
These were some of the best matches on television. Every match was over 10 minutes, 10 to 18 minutes on TV. This is some of the best stuff. Okay, now what?
Pure pro wrestling.
Okay, now what, Vern? Kingston has a new belt. Now what? What story does Mark Briscoe have? What story does Brody King have? What story does Daniel Garcia have? What story does Idolo's gone? What story does Claudio have?
The same one they had when they walked into this place. Nothing.
There's my issue. You have a chance. You can. This is what I said. Tony ain't low. Tony goes, I really ain't got to book nothing. I can just put a tournament on TV and have a bunch of nice matches. I give my people what they want. That's what the AEW fans want. They want cool matches. They don't want drama, right? If they wanted drama, they'd watch the Bloodline story.
Correct.
Okay. So he gave you what you wanted. If this is what you want, awful. Absolutely awful. Main event, Samoa Joe defeated MJF. I will be 1,000 with you. Did not pay attention to this match. Until the bell rang and the people were shocked. And I looked and Samoa Joe was holding the belt. I was like, oh, that I was shocked. I was shocked that he was holding the belt. I guess he made him tap. And I'm like, oh, Samoa Joe's the champion. And then we get the devil finish. Burn. Did you see that?
Of course.
What you think, brother? I just want your take on it. I'm not going to explain the devil finish.
Lame. It was lame. For that to be the finish after everything you've watched to get there, after the buddy cop flicks, after all the Adam, all that nonsense to get there, was a total yikes.
We could have got there.
You did not think this through.
We could have got there in November, but then he hurt his ankle, and I bet that changed plans.
Then you know what?
Longer.
If you thought stretching it out by making a buddy cop film and then betraying him in the end was the big twist.
So I'm looking at it like this.
Totally misunderstood what swerve means.
I'm looking at it like this, right? This is what I'm guessing the story is. It's going to be an MJF revenge movie. Right? Right? This is the only thing I can think of. Like, this is, you ever seen I Spit on Your Grave?
Yes.
Where they did those heinous things to that girl and she got her get back.
Everybody.
Right. Did you see the 70s one or the recent one?
70s one.
The 70s one is raw.
Yeah, I've never seen the recent one.
The recent one is cooler because she killed homeboys in a cooler way. But the 70s one is terrible. It's god awful. Like, not in a bad way. I mean, what they did to poor girl and how she gets them back.
Yes. It's very much a very in-your-face movie that's unapologetic.
I feel like we're going to get a Stone Cold S MJF who's mad at the world, who won't trust anybody now, who didn't trust anybody when he was a heel, but now won't trust anybody anymore because he finally let somebody in. I think that's the story they were trying to tell, but they fumbled through the first half of it, which was setting up, making MJF a babyface, gaining somebody, allowing somebody to build trust with, and taking it away from them. I can see it. I can see what they tried, but they didn't execute it well because they made him and Adam Cole best of friends immediately. And that is what took me out the story immediately. Because you can't go from Vern, I'm going to give you every insult that all the internet says. We work a match one week, the week later, and then the next week we're best friends. That doesn't make sense. Claudio and Sheamus had a 7-match series, had respect, and became the Bar.
Yep.
7 matches. That's 7 weeks of wrestling.
Yep.
Okay. They respect the hell out of each other because they beat the crap out of each other for 7 weeks. You had one match that went a time limit draw, and y'all still hated each other until you heard y'all had to be a tag team with each other, that you were forced. They could have told the buddy cop story in the tournament, but instead they made them best friends immediately. They could have organically got the double clothesline over, but instead they forced it down our throat by screaming it at the top of their lungs. The kangaroo kick Nonsense. The only reason why is because they were facing an Australian team.
But they're all over.
But it got over. Anything, we say this all the time, Vern. MJF can drop his trunks, take a literal, I'm ducking it, a literal in the middle of that ring, and the people will pop huge. Did you see the size of that thing? MJF is he's the man. You know that, bro. They just poor execution, Vern. Like I said, stuff is set in place. Adam should have been the devil. The entire time, Adam should have been the devil. If it wasn't going to be MJF, it should have been Adam. How we got there? Freaking awful. Freaking awful. And the reveal, lights out, long pause, lights on. You know what I'm gonna do as one of our episodes, Vern? Every time AEW has shut the lights off, I'm gonna trigger you with that one. I'm gonna go.
You'll get bored. You'll never make it. You'll never make it through.
But the thing is, it'll be easy because we'll just watch what it was, and we'll just go, okay, why? Why'd they even do that? You get what I'm saying? We're just gonna, and you're gonna be triggered by that.
Well, at the beginning, it was the House of Black. Then it was the Matt Hardy was doing it for a while. It just depends what era of AEW.
I'm gonna put A to remind myself. AEW blackout moments. That's what I'll put. Because I would love to go back because they've overused that. I remember I was big in ECW, and you know he's an ECW mark. So I was big in ECW, so I'm kind of like, yeah. All right, good sir. Enough of World's End. We talked too much about it, but I just had to brainstorm in my head what they thought they were doing, and I knew that that's not where they went. Day one, Vern. Felt like a Raw. We got 6 matches. I'll ring them off real quick. Nia Jax defeated Becky. Kofi and Jay defeated Imperium by referee stoppage. We'll talk about that. Awesome Truth reunited to defeat the Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley defeated Ivy Nile for the Women's World Championship. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark defeated Tegan Nox and Natalya to determine the #1 contender. Seth freaking Rollins retained the title against Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship. Talk to me, bro.
Let's see. It was a fine card. It was a fun card.
I don't mind the 6 match. 5 of the 6 matches. 5 of the 6 matches.
Yeah, I honestly the only match that was probably we're not even the Shayna Baszler Zoe Stark match. The point of it was to get them out there and let them look strong. And
correct. I think that was the one I was talking about where I said 5 out of 6. I just don't think those 4 clicked, and
they're trying with Zoe. They're trying something with Zoe Shayna. I don't know if they're gonna find it. Tegan, I don't know. I feel like Tegan was brought back. I don't know what for. And so, Natalya.
Tegan to me is a placeholder.
Yep.
For the next girl that's coming up, and she's future endeavored. Tegan's got nothing. Tegan's got nothing that she could sell with merch. She's a basic worker. Calling it the shiniest wizard. Nothing about her appeals to children.
Yeah.
That's where she's gonna catch people. She does nothing to catch children's eye.
The Judgment Day segment, that whole segment was money. R-Truth is
my god.
The whole thing was money.
Does this rival Sami Zayn Bloodline? But isn't a more comedic aspect?
It's different because R-Truth is all comedy.
Well, Sami Zayn rival, not
really. I don't think it rivals it. I think it because it's a different flavor of comedy. Because Sammy's has that deadpan. He says something serious,
office humor.
Yes, that deadpan, stare at the camera kind of humor.
Yeah.
Where R-Truth is just
slapstick,
hits you nonstop with slapstick.
Yeah.
He does one-liners and he does all sorts of. He's an entertainer. Yeah.
R-Truth got it when he was sitting there and he crossed his legs. I lost it. When he sat in Mrs. Interview chair, just when he crossed his leg. Well, man, lost it.
Bro,
I'm the PR
Jimmy,
guy.
And he said, y'all seen Little Jimmy?
Little Jimmy's here? No,
he brought it up.
And the money part of Truth, and I'm glad we're talking about him because Truth deserves his flowers. Because Truth has been working since the early 2000s. K-Quick, Ron the Truth Killings. He's been working NWA champion, right? When it didn't matter. But still, he's been working for years. And now I think he's finally starting to get the recognition he needs by just being funny, but just being a funny guy. And he's been funny
Not having
forever.
a bump too much.
Right. Not having a bump, wrestling a little bit. Hilarious. I love Truth for it. I hope they run with this for a while. I feel like because it worked once, they're just like, let's see how far we can go with this thing.
Yeah. Oh,
I think
the bit he did with the TV set where he found the old TV and he was like, bruh, it's like there's so much stuff he does. You just feel like it's just a guy improvising. It's just him improvising and it works.
See, this is why you're that guy. See, me and you had the same thought. A tingly feeling hit the back of my head. I was about to say his ability to improvise because little Jimmy, I bet Miz just threw it out there. Crowd popped and you could just see the wheels turning in his head. And he just said, "Little Jimmy's here." How he got all excited. It's like, okay, like he gets it. Truth's the man.
Rhea Ripley, Ivy Nile. Rhea is tapping into that uncanny place of anyone she wrestles, even if they look like half a star,
still better.
She'll convince you by the end of it that, oh man, they almost got her. Man, she got lucky. She really, she caught her sleeping and boom, Rhea capitalized.
Now there were some moments Ivy looked out of place, which, of course, she's been working NXT.
First big match on
Raw, Monday Night Raw. I couldn't imagine.
She had a great dancing partner.
Correct. And she listened well, you can tell. And shout out to Ivy, but Rhea, man, Rhea's just next level. When she stacked her up, bro, I was like, let's get out of here. Let's go home. I was like, she stacked her up. Let's just get out of here.
Yeah.
Sidebar, I showed DSP, the boss man, the Rhea Ripley announcers table picture. He had never seen it before. And his eyes have been open to the respectfully, of course. Before we go to the main event, Kofi and Imperium. Kofi Uso and Imperium. That kick, man.
Did
you find the link?
Yeah. It's
All right, perfect.
So this shows you the after effect. This shows you because this has a guy talking over it. That's why I was like,
I'll mute it. Do I need the sound?
No, because this is a fan cam. It's a fan cam shot of the match.
And it's fan cam. The E can't come for us. It's a fan cam.
It's all fan cam.
All right. So while you talk about it, I'll play it. I'll play it up.
That's like a minute long.
That's not it.
Long.
I still have that up. That's not it. Oh, this is Daily Motion, so no big deal, right? Yep. The other ones, not too sure, but this one's Daily Motion, so it's still out of my ear. Okay, there we go. So we got Vinci in the ring. I mean, it was just regular. It's heat. Yeah, it was heat. Oh, this guy pops up. Can we cover him? He's the guy that's gonna talk in the actual
okay.
He's doing a commentary, yeah. So Kofi's in the heat for the people watching. He's doing a comeback, a little hope spot. Or that could have been the double down. That was probably the double down, this spot right here. Whip reverse. Oh my God. Oh my God, brother. In the headset. You see him. He's in the headset. Hey, he's out. Hey, he's out.
Watch.
X. He's trying to get up. He's out. Look at his arms. He's done. Okay, his legs are moving. Okay, here comes the trainer.
Wait. And again, you don't really get how bad it is until
he gets to the floor. This. He tags out.
Watch. They're still talking to him. Here's what they get out, and this
he tried to make the tag.
Watch.
Oh,
done here.
His head, bro. Yeah,
couldn't stand up.
He got knocked out.
No equilibrium whatsoever.
Holy smoke!
So the other one I've seen online, the other one I couldn't find was the one where they pick him up, and when they pick him up, he's like this. You see that he's like that, like his head is doing that wobble where he's wobbling, and you see the homie, the doctor, kind of puts his shoulder under him.
Big doctor too. He's a big guy.
And the doctor braces him, kind of gets him with the shoulder, and you kind of see him like bring him back, like he was still out of it. And you see him walking, holding his head, and he's kind of like trying to shake his head, like
he's probably going to be out for a while.
Yeah,
he probably got a bad concussion.
And it on the replay on the Fed, when they show the replay on TV, you could see the Kofi's heel just caught him right in the mouth.
So here's the thought, right? We coach football, so we had to study concussions.
Yep.
Because we had to know the symptoms if a kid got sick. So I always remember watching it, and they say all a concussion is your brain violently hitting the walls of your skull. Yep. It can be you shaking your head too hard. You can give yourself a little concussion. You can get forearmed from a fellow professional wrestler while you're standing in the corner and get your head rattled. I'm speaking from experience here. Hi, Davey. And get a concussion, a low-grade concussion. Hit on the football field and your head hits the ground and you get a high-grade concussion. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just going to go with what I saw, right?
Yeah.
Vinci, whip reverse, climbs on to the second rope, springs backwards, and the first thing that turns around is your head, right? Kofi's not coming with a lot of velocity, but Kofi's coming with enough to make contact. So I'm thinking this. We all know, I'm going to use a shoot name, Fabian Eichner is athletic as hell.
Yeah.
Right? He does that double springboard moonsault. The boy can fly, right? So I'm assuming he came out with as much vigor out of that buckle as Melo comes out of the second rope when he springboard clotheslines people. You understand? You know, yes. Melo shoots off those ropes.
Yeah, he does.
I'm going to say, I don't know if you're watching it again, but I'm guessing Eichner sprung back, head turned, Kofi with just enough force as he's turning, whap. We saw it. That rattled his brain plus hitting the mat. That's a lot of movement for that brain. And his whole, like you said, equilibrium that goes in the ears. I'm sure he immediately had head pain and didn't know where he was at. If he even remembered anything, I'm sure he didn't wake up till he got to the back. Because I've seen people do amazing things.
Let me see if I can still find
the other one.
Angle.
Sure, please.
Because the other angle was brutal. Like,
if you really,
find the other angle, painted that picture of just like
that one alone.
He was
because what they showed on TV, it wasn't enough. Because they did slow mo and then they did fast, and it's like, nah, bro. I need to see it in real time because I didn't see it. I think I was talking to my brother and he saw it. I turned and talked to him and he said, "Oh," and he looked. I looked and Vinci's already off and rolled off, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So, nah, man. Hopefully Vinci heals up. That the way he fell to the ground, it looked like he was selling. You know how we sell?
Yeah.
The head bob. When we sell like that for a reason, because look at what really happened with Vinci. He tried to stand upright, tried to grab the apron, and fell to the ground. Dude was out, legit. And I'm glad that there's stuff in place nowadays, Vern, now that we know better, that they stopped the match immediately. Because 1993, he finishes that match. I don't even have to go that far back. And I'm going to sound like I'm hating. AEW in 2021, he would have just been laying in the middle of the ring. Tell me you remember that. Where homeboy got knocked out with the Bucks.
Dragged across the ring.
To make the tag. Yes, and then he just laid there, legs crossed like Ric Flair. There I go, talk about Ric Flair again. But yeah, other than that, I think, what'd you think before we go main event, Becky and Nia, real quick?
I'm interested to see where they're going with it. I was
thought
it was a better match. I thought it was a better match than it was going to be. I'll say that.
Okay.
See, you're disappointed. You're disappointed. Why?
I'm disappointed because you could tell it's a start of something. It wasn't the blow off match.
Yes.
Because they're just starting something. I don't know what it's getting to. Hopefully something good. It's got to be a gimmick match. You got to finish off with a gimmick match with Nia. It can't be a straight up. But I'm just not with Nia, bro. I'm not with, as much as I love Nia Jax. I love my girl Nia.
Yeah.
Her in-ring work, brother. Her work rate, brother. It just ain't it. I can't do it. Main event, Vern. Main event. Seth Drew. Masterpiece, Vern. Talk to me.
Yeah, so I got to be honest. I thought Drew was gonna win.
I said it on the air.
So
you was already writing Seth and Punk at Mania, no belt. Yep. You was already writing that. The reason
I said it because I can't believe Drew lost 3 high-profile big matches. I just couldn't see them letting him lose 3.
Yeah. But this now.
That's why I said to you, Frank, do you think they're doing things differently?
So this is why I like Drew's story right now. Look at how he lost. Drew had him in the bag, covered him too deep. His toes touched the rope break. I don't think I've ever seen a rope break like that before.
I thought that was hella creative because I was like, 1, 2.
I saw that
Ooh.
the smile on my face, like, because when I see something creative like that, I'm like, damn it, why didn't I think of that? Like, even for someone else, like, yo, you know, it'd be a good way to do a rope break. Would never thought of that. Like, yo, you cover him deep because you've really wanted this win for so long, and you make the mistake of giving him the rope break. So Drew can't blame anybody, but his frustration's going to build even more, right? So then Damian comes out, correct? No, Damian was already out. Damian was already out, had hit him with the briefcase, Claymore, deep cover, then the rope break. Then we work towards the finish where Seth goes over. But I thought that rope break made it okay for Drew to lose.
Okay.
I don't mind it. If Drew just lost straight up, I'm with you. Damn. Like, they had to give Drew one. But that little nuance, that's the name of the show today, Nuance. Oh, it was Harvey Jericho. Nah, it's Nuance. It's Nuance. That little nuance right there where they just that little bit, like, I got him. Everybody in that arena. Oh my God.
We have a new champion. No. Yeah, no, everybody. I was like, 1, 2, let's go.
Yes, at home. I said, oh, Vern's right. I said it. I was like, Vern was right. Toes on the rope. He stopped. Why'd he stop? Oh, his toes are on the rope. Why didn't I? I'm not from there. I was glued. I was like, this is it. Seth goes over. I'm like, holy, what a roller coaster. Love that. I love that match. That match was great. Because, you know, those twos are at the top of their game. That could have main evented a pay-per-view. Like, for sure. That match, that finish could have been a main event for a pay-per-view. And shout out to H for putting on shows like that. So, anything you want to say before we go?
No,
because we're at our main event now.
We're at our main event. Hit it.
SmackDown New Year's Revolution this Friday. Tomorrow. It's in similar taste of like Raw. Excuse me, where they just put a name to it.
Yep.
Which I like. It's like, hey, we're starting off the new year. And this one will be at they're in Canada. And I have the hiccups now. Jesus. Wait a second. Did you hear me? Did you hear the water go down? Is there ASMR? Hold on. Did you hear the swallow? Was that disgusting?
Disgusting.
Did you hear my gullet move in order? I just had to do some ASMR, Vern. 2 hours in. Nobody's listening anyway, right?
God, that was awful.
I can't wait to edit that. I'm gonna raise the volume on that thing. They're at the Rogers Arena tomorrow. Real quick, run it through. The tournament final for the U.S. title. We got Santos and Kevin Owens. Butch is in a tag team match against Pretty Deadly. You think that's a Sheamus return there?
Possibly, right? Like, how long has he been gone?
Sheamus has been gone since Edge. Since he worked Edge.
Really?
And Edge's last match. I haven't seen Sheamus since.
Wow. Okay.
Have we not?
Nope.
They're working Pretty Deadly. Love Pretty Deadly, so can't wait to see what happens there. Then we got Io Sky against Mia Yim for the Women's Championship. And then we got the main triple threat match for the number one contendership for the Universal title to work the Rumble. Randy, AJ, and LA Knight. What you got? What you want to see the most, Vern, out of these four so far?
The main event. That was the main event, not what everybody wants to see right now. That main event.
Let's talk about it.
Like, that main event is come on, man. Randy, AJ, LA Knight.
Yeah.
What?
So
what? And the only reason I say that is because Santos, Kevin Owens, I think Kevin Owens is going to win.
The story is driven that way.
Yeah, it's been driven that way with the punch and all that. So I just
this is how you use a tournament to tell a story. By the way,
correct.
I'm pointing at my computer.
So this is one of the moments where I'm like, it's fine. I don't mind because this was the story. I thought this is what we said was going to be the story from the jump, that Kevin Owens and what's his face, Logan Paul were going to end up working together.
Well, out of all the guys that were in there, Kevin's the only one that's going to be able to lead.
Yeah, and the whole punch thing. Remember when he punched two people with one hand? Like,
Yeah. With Theory and Grayson Waller. Yeah.
And so that match just feels like whatever. I'm with you. The Butch, that being the return for Sheamus because Ridge Holland is currently down on NXT. So yeah, that makes sense. Why not?
But also, I feel like the Brawling Brutes do not exist, so it might not be Sheamus.
Yeah,
who else?
They've really like cooled them off and kind of like trying to send them in their own way without Sheamus there, huh?
Maybe they're doing something where Sheamus is gonna come in a different way, not like a different look, but like, hey, I'm Sheamus by myself again.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe that's why they broke him apart, because they kind of broke him apart kind of like subtly. At one point, I was like, wait, Ridge, where's Butch? And I'm like, Butch, where's Ridge? And then I'm like, oh, that's what they did. Like, I had to put 2 and 2 together.
And so, and Io Sky Michin, I think that can cook. I think Mia Yim giving some chance to work with Io, I think that can cook.
Well, Mia can go. Mia can always go.
She can, and I just think she hasn't been given an opportunity. She doesn't have many long matches on television. She doesn't get many opportunities. And I think now, hey, let's give her a shot. Let's give her a chance to do something.
Sure.
So
she's gonna give you a good wrestling match if that's what you want.
Yeah. If
you need 8 minutes against Io Sky on TV, sure, for a title.
But this is a one-match card. At the moment,
no matter what, they're gonna
card.
add 2 more than likely. They'll probably add maybe 1 more, 5 matches on SmackDown because it's 2 hours.
So at the moment, this is a one-match card because I want to see them give half an hour, 20 minutes to Randy, AJ, LA.
Okay, so question to you: what's the outcome? And I'm gonna write this one down so we can come back to this. What's the outcome
at the Royal Rumble?
What's the match? Who's who?
Oh, Randy Orton.
So you got Orton.
Yeah, I got
Orton versus Roman at the Rumble.
Orton versus Roman at the Rumble. Yeah, because LA Knight, you can run LA Knight back. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna give LA right now. I think LA AJ have a story they're gonna tell. It's gonna be AJ's LA and a one-on-one, and Randy's going after Roman.
Can I tell you something?
Shoot.
Can we go 1999, 2000 Attitude Era, and we're gonna get ourselves a fatal 4-way at the Rumble? Roman doesn't have to work hard. LA, AJ, and Orton all on one big major match, right? Okay. Triple H books very limited. Rumble's probably gonna have what, 6-7 matches? You're gonna have the 2 Rumbles that take up 2 hours. We're gonna have 3 or 4 more matches. What a way to make a match high profile with your number 1 champion as Roman, with the 3 top guys there that are contenders.
So I don't like seeing the title defended in multiple person situations, but I understand. I understand what you're saying. It'd be a way to extend that story yet again.
Now, and how good does that look? I'm the tribal chief. I knocked off 3, smashed 3 fools.
Why would you want him? But you wouldn't want him to smash 3. You want him to smash 1 of said 3 and then bring the other 2 back and return. But I hear what you're saying. But I hear what you're saying. But you don't want him to smash and stack, but you don't want him to smash and stack like he did Edge and
Brian. No. You wouldn't want to do that. But he's gonna lay claim whether Randy hits an RKO, Solo interrupts him, and Roman steals the pin, he's still gonna say he smashed 3 fools.
Correct.
We don't need double stack like a Wendy's burger again, because that was crazy. Edge and Daniel Bryan, y'all ain't nothing. We out of here. No, we don't need that. No, something dastardly, because I feel like we need to be getting to this part where Roman is clinging on to the title, or is Roman going to win at Mania again? Because now this is where we were writing in our heads. Roman's supposed to be clamoring to hold on to the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Cody's supposed to be on a run. Cody's supposed to win the Rumble again, and he's going to finish the story at Mania. This is what we thought when he lost. Like, oh, nah, Roman's going to hold it till next Mania. That was the logical story. But now, said promo, where should I go sit when I go to eat? Should I go sit at the bar? Should I go sit at a should I go sit where else he said? Or should I go sit at the head of the table? It's planted a seed, brother.
Yeah, but that's a match they're gonna do in Australia.
You think so? You think it's going to Perth?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm gonna go 99.99% because there's been reports that the Ministry of Entertainment or whatever the heck from Australia,
sure,
the people have been clamoring for Dwayne Johnson, so
they want The Rock.
I think they were like, yo, WWE, we'll give y'all tax credits, blah blah blah, 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 blah.
Hey, listen, if that's the case, then sure, because if not, I'm thinking that's the Mania match.
Nope.
So if it's not the Chamber, which I think the main event of the Chamber is going to be Rhea in the Chamber, no matter what.
I think we're gonna get this in Perth. We're gonna get this.
If we're getting 1-on-1, Roman Reigns versus The Rock in Perth. Ooh, do you lose Mania dollars by not putting it on Mania?
Because the match is still Cody and Roman.
Okay,
that's the story. That's the match.
Okay.
I'm not changing my mind on that.
Okay,
Cody and Roman
you can still do it too.
Cody and Roman is the only that has. Listen, Rock, Mister No Lose clause in my contract for
Black Adam.
Yeah, Black Adam and characters
I
play.
don't bump in Black Adam, brother.
Well, like Shay said, right? The guy who had to come out equal billing with Dom Toretto in Dom's own movie franchise.
Yo,
I just don't see him allowing himself to put him over at Mania. Okay. But I see him being able to do it in Perth because it's Perth, it's out the country.
Rock.
So Rock,
Roman,
I'm still
Perth.
Going. Rock Roman is going to be in Perth. And
first show of 2024, you're coming in hot, brother.
Yeah, and it's going to be Roman, Cody. Cody wins the belt. Seth.
Oh no! Oh, you froze.
And
Mania.
Punk.
Seth Punk
Mania is going to be at Mania.
So Seth,
I just don't know if it'll be for the belt. Yeah, I just don't know if it'll be. And it may be. It may be.
It has to be at now. Now it has to be, unless Seth loses it in the chamber.
But would it be too corny to have Punk and Cody both finish their story on the same night?
No, same show.
Same show. Excuse me.
Nights.
Same show. 2 nights. Same show.
No.
With Cody, with Punk stealing the finish the storyline. Now everybody's gonna start finishing the story. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. I appreciate the fact that we can't figure it out.
I like that. It's not predictable.
I still think it's gonna go the way. I think it's gonna go that way. I do think that there's no way Cody, because if not, you know what? Then man, they have some faith in Cody being able to stay on top for another year.
No championship. Cody no championship. And
listen, the tag title thing was a fun little hangover, but
we got yeet out of that. And look at Jay. If anything, it just helped elevate Jay more, giving the belts on him and letting him get drunk before a press conference made him more relatable.
Who knew?
Yeet, right? It made him right. Who would have known? That's the organic stuff you never know when it comes to pro wrestling. Cody finished the story in my video game. He's my world heavyweight champion right now. My universal undisputed whatever. He finished the story in my game. He had to. Gunther's my world heavyweight champion. He defeated Seth at Mania. So it's like I couldn't wait. I waited a year before I put it on Cody myself. I did Cody Roman at Mania. Cody went #1 in 2K at the Rumble, won it, and then beat Roman. He finished the story. That's what we need, Vern. That's what we need.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Dude, if it doesn't happen, damn.
I'm just saying with Drew not winning last Monday, and I was like, oh, it's a lock. You can't let the guy lose 3 times. Excuse me. They said, yes, we can.
Yes, we can, Vernon. This is how.
Yes, we can.
On the rope. Go on the rope.
Yes, like, shows what I know.
Right. Everything you think you know about wrestling, these guys are starting to change a little bit of, and they're making.
I'm glad. I really.
I'm here for it.
Triple H continues to push. Did you see the other night? Just randomly before we wrap up, did you?
I'm about to say we're about to finish up. We're good
on Raw when they showed the Katana Chance and Caden Carter and Katana Chance
where they were celebrating with the belts.
Did you see when they shot it though? They shot it in that 4K NXT style. It wasn't shot in typical WWE.
They probably did it in Florida.
So I was wondering, do you think they're going to start using that 4K? Like, it just looks different. It looks almost movie-esque. Like TNA does that.
Yeah. TNA did it a while ago. Bischoff Hervey during the TNA
they don't do it no more?
Sort of.
Like movie, like
they
everything
sort of
like
do it. Where they're like a hole in the wall as opposed to like, hey,
no,
there's a camera here.
Not the POV view, but I'm saying like literally it looks like it's
just that good quality, you mean?
Yeah, the image is so crisp and it's so fluid where it doesn't look like you're recording it.
It's more like it's like movie film. Like a movie film, like 35 millimeter. Yeah.
Yeah, like you know how the NXT promos all look like little mini movies?
Yes.
And on Raw, they had that for those 2 girls when Chelsea and her came out. And I was like,
anytime
are they doing these now for Raw?
That felt more like a vignette, but it was like promo style because it was like back and forth.
Yeah,
They did it with Kaiser. I don't know if you noticed that. They gave Kaiser a moment like that.
Oh no, I didn't see
where
that
he had
for Kaiser.
like a 1 minute like vignette where he was like,
where he was like perfect. And
big
they were
ego
like,
man. He was waving off a lady. They use that same kind of camera quality. So I think for that kind of stuff, they will.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Because
So
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Look at Triple H making changes like that, where I'm like, that's different. That's a new camera shot that they've not. But with the departure of Kevin Dunn, I wonder if that's part of that. Part of that change is like, new producer.
TKO. It's TKO. It's not the WWE now. Those are the little things we were like, man, I can't wait to see the differences.
Yeah.
Those are the differences. People don't notice it because they're expecting, oh, well, it's a new company. Maybe we'll see blood now because it's not what they want. No. Difference in presentation.
You will never see blood again.
You don't have to. And you don't have to. The only time you will is by mistake or when Brock Lesnar decides to open himself on purpose.
Remember, fans, sponsor money weighs more than blood money.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, I don't know, Vern, I'm good. We still went 2.5.
Yo, let's rock.
We out of here. So, weigh that pencil, my friend. I think we're back to our regular song. Is there a song I can play? Well, I did sing Pit of Danger. That's easily a copyright. Batista will come for me.
Oh, 100%.
But I love that song.
Leviathan will get you.
For miles inside this pit of danger.
You know what you gotta get? You gotta get a. You have to get a royalty free, like what Shay does, where you get like some
They're so bad when he plays them at the show.
You got to get one of those. You got to get one of those like.
Oh my God!
rock.
Yep. I'm gonna find it. And it's gonna be off. It'll be so off tune. Oh, it's gonna be awful.
That's what we got to get.
We're gonna start using those from now on.
Just off-brand versions of these. I'm gonna ask. Put it through the WCW machine and hit play. The TNA machine and hit play.
Just pull the lever on the roulette and see which one we get. Sure. All right, boom. I'm gonna add that. All right. So with all that being said, this has been Vern. Wow, episode 49. We're almost 100.
And hey, a departure from format, guys. It's been fun. We've enjoyed it. We gave you 2.5 hours of us chat. Oh no,
not yet. We still got.
Okay.
Once year 2's over, that's episode 52. Episode 52. We got like another month. We got another month.
Okay. Got you.
Like another month and a half.
I jumped the gun.
Just a little, yeah. But
all right, so then, enjoy, y'all. This is the end of an era. These are the last final episodes where y'all going to hear us ramble on like this about all sorts of stuff on just random tangents. So if you're a fan of that, great. If you hate it, hey, tune in because we'll be changing format soon.
Yeah. All right. So with all that being said, for my man Vernon Somoza, I am Frank Champion. I am me. He is him. We are they. Say peace, bruv.
Peace, bruv. Oi.
And we're out of here. Pipe down, bruv. I got it.